Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Bussin' with the Boys. This is a very, very special episode for us because we're not at 100 episodes. We are officially at 200 episodes. We're fucking doing it, boys. 2023 is going to be the biggest year yet, and here we go with another banger guest on our podcast. Here's a little spoiler alert. He was also our 100th guest on Bussin' with the Boys. But before that, we need to talk about the most durable, reliable vehicle on the road. And my God, is it more beautiful than ever. The championship game is upon us, but one team has already won it all. And that team is the beautiful Chevy. And its star player, the Silverado, a truck with unstoppable grit and determination. According to J.D. Power, Chevy trucks have earned more new vehicle quality awards than any other brand, and that is some serious hardware. Do us a favor, head over to Chevy.com to learn more. Silverado, as strong and dependable as the people who drive them. For JD Power 2022 U.S. award information, visit jdpower.com. Get that link a little slash, put awards in it. It's you can take you all there. It's going to take you there. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it. It's going to be an amazing thing. Our guest this week is the infamous David Portnoy. Dave was on episode 100. It's crazy to think that episode 100, we were still doing the dance. Like, what's our relationship with Dave? We work with them. We work for them. There's really a whole bunch of gray area over what's going on. What is this thing really going to turn into? And I will let you know in the last year and a half or however long it's taken us to get to episode 200, the friendship levels have really just done this. There was a moment there where his fiance or his girlfriend thought I was gay. Roan's girlfriend thought I was gay. That was a fun little bonding moment for us because at the end of the day, we don't know. At the end of the day, I don't even know the answer for that. Everyone's a little gay. I'm just trying to figure out what my meter is, boys. What percentage are we at here? We have had the man's amazing. He was on the very famous Joe Rogan podcast, #1 in like 93 different countries. We talked about why people do not like Dave. We talked about Dave's clout stories, what he gets into, those types of things, how we think Barstool is going to change, right? Barstool is going through a changing of the guard right now, where Penn National Gaming has officially purchased, I believe it's already happened. The transaction is complete, if not about to be complete, where Dave no longer owns Penn Gaming. What's that look like for him? What is his contract with Barstool? When is his contract ends? When his contract ends, does he re-up? What's he going to do next? Does he go and does his own thing? Does he go work for somebody else? Or does he go right after the sunset, getting those real meaty tans, starting to look a little piece like a little leather? He looks a little leathery. And that's okay because he's got a good little vibe about him. My man spends all his time in Miami. He shows us his house. I believe in the episode, you guys get to see a piece of his house, right?
Correct.
It's incredible. It's an amazing time. A lot of stuff on the horizon for the boys. Obviously, the tier talk this week had to do with pizza. We went with best pizza chains. And I'll be honest with you, we are on different parts of the spectrum when it comes to what we believe is good pizza when it comes to just the chains. Will and I, very humble, very grounded. We have not been cultured in the way of the pizza world, the way Dave Portnoy has been able to do. He had some names. He said some names I've never even fucking heard of before. But it's an incredible time, and you guys are going to have an amazing time. More amazing times on the horizon. The boys, you're listening to this. It's Tuesday. We're filming this on Thursday right now. Why am I giving you some insider information? It's Friday right now. Why am I giving you this insider information? Because this weekend, while we're uploading this little piece, the boys will be headed to maybe the greatest state in the union, Arizona, for the Super Bowl. Because best year of Bussin' with the Boys history, 2023, we have to deliver to you what we've promised. And you guys have been delivering to us what we've expected and hoped. And that is views on views on views on views. You guys have been absolutely incredible. What a wonderful, crazy life you are getting, not only myself and Will to live, but the boys in back, the experiences we're able to have, the experiences we're able to do, because you guys subscribe, unsubscribe, or resubscribe every fucking day for us. We don't deserve it, but goddamn, boys, we really fucking appreciate it. We have a huge Super Bowl lineup. Obviously, Monday and Tuesday, you're going to be able to follow along with us all. Our boy Mitchie, who's right now on the computer like Rayman, or the guy from Italian Job who had the music taken away from him. He's out there fucking stopping lights, making red lights turn green, green lights turn red, and maybe yellow sometimes if you need a little caution, making sure that we have the ability to keep you guys up to the present of everything we're doing as fast as we possibly can. You're going to be able to see into our lives. You're going to be able to watch on bus scenes, vlogs, a whole bunch of stuff, including episodes that will come out with these incredible guests, because the Super Bowl is not only an incredible game, it's not only an amazing place where two elite football teams get to fight for the #1 prize in their sport, but it's also a place where a lot of networking goes on. A lot of people, who's who in the zoo, comes in, flies in, takes their jets or their commercial flights Southwest, not judging. We all have our ways of getting there, right? It's planes, trains, and automobiles type things. You get into Arizona. Now we get to all hang out and we're having a beautiful time. This is like a melting pot, baby. This is what America is built on, is this melting pot. All these people coming together in the great state of Arizona, and we are lucky enough to be a part of that, not only because of the boys in the back working their ass off, but also you guys every single day doing that. It's going to be amazing. This episode's going to be amazing. I think we need to do shout out of the week. You know what I forgot to say? That our shout out, no free shout out, is presented by Whistle Pig Whiskey. The most delicious, the only whiskey you could ever find in your life that'll literally change with the seasons for you. It's wintertime, frigid, cold. Maybe you went skiing. I was in Park City, Utah, watching my 5-year-old ski. I was cold. I had 7 layers on. What'd I do? Sip of that, warm the belly. I feel so much better right now. Cruises down my throat and sits on the top of my tummy like a warm little furnace going, go ahead, Ba. You can last 20, 30 more minutes here. You're going to be all right because I got you. It's a partner in life, not a crutch. It's a partner in life. Now, let's kick it over the summertime. We're profusely sweating. Your boy, I've lost some weight, but still big time sweater. Maybe it's sodium deficiency. Maybe it's not a sodium deficiency. But we do know when I am parched and I take a swig, get the product in there. When I take a swig of this Bussin' with the Boys Select Whistle Pig Whiskey, I know now it has gone down my throat, sat on my tummy, and it goes, hey, we're going to keep you cool and feeling good the rest of the day. Go ahead and keep riding, buddy. You can run around those kids a little bit longer because I got you. I'm your partner. Whistle Pig, the shout out, no free shout out sponsor. Click the link in the YouTube description and use code GameDay23 for 50% off a bundle. Now, you talk about a bundle, you're probably wondering what a bundle is. You saw something on the social medias. I'm going to give it to you one more time. You can get this bottle of whiskey full with a nice little topper. A nice little topper. It looks gold. It's beautiful. I don't even know what it is. It is like a salute.
It's the pig.
It's the pig. I probably could have guessed that. I probably could have guessed it was the pig, boys. So there's a little pig on top, which is fun, right? You show your friends, you look over at the liquor cabinet and you're like, you see that one? They're like, oh, what's that one? And they obviously point to the one with the little pig on top. You look a little more fancier without breaking the bank. The next bundle you can get on that is you get this bottle of whiskey full with the pig on top. And there's also like an orange bitters, an orange syrup, an orange maple syrup. You put in that, you throw that in there, couple of bitters, maybe an orange wedge. What do you have there, boys? Got yourself an orange fashion. Add sugar, don't add sugar. That's up to you. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. But with that combination, with this bundle, boys, you are living an absolute dream. And like I said, it's a summertime drink. It's a wintertime drink. It's an all the time drink. Let's drink Whistle Pig Whiskey together. I'm going to have a drink right now. I'm going to do it right now because I love you guys. And I want you guys to be a part of this. Delicious. We have a bit of a skeleton cast in there because the boys are grinding. A couple of boys are grinding in the back. So, JP, you're sitting in Bloss's seat. We are going to start with you, sir. Let's hear what you have for your shout out, no free shout out of the week.
My shout out, no free shout out of the week goes to that good ice.
Oh.
You know exactly what I'm talking about when I say the good ice, and that's the best part about it. You don't even have to describe it to anybody. Everybody knows it's those tiny pieces of ice.
That's Sonic ice.
That's Sonic ice.
Sonic ice.
And it's no better feeling when you go to like a gas station, fill up in the styrofoam cup, and you go and put your cup up there, and the good ice comes out.
Good ice.
Let's go.
Even when you get the good ice, you might not even get a drink after that. You're like, I have this ice to chew on now. I might not even need a drink anymore. I've already got a little present. It's like a treat. It's like a treat.
You know what else rips about it? It's not just the texture and the crunch of it, but the sound it makes when it falls in the cup. It's just
brother. Oh.
Yeah.
It's a dump.
Oh,
it is a dump. Because sometimes you put it on there, you hear like the machine's grinding, like, fuck, we got to get some ice for this guy.
No.
We got to work into that.
Sonic ice is ready to fall.
That shit is ready.
Is with gravity.
It comes correct. Yeah. Absolutely comes correct. What an outstanding start to shout out, no free shout out of the week. Jackie boy, what do you have for us?
My shout out, no free shout out, goes to being productive on a Friday. Had a super productive morning, and Friday sometimes it go either way. If you're productive, great. If you're not, great, because it's the weekend. Doesn't matter. You're letting it loose a little early. But this morning I got up, got a bunch of stuff done. Had to run out to Opry Mills. Did this and that. We came here, did a secret interview. Can't talk about.
It will be out by now, though.
It will be out by now.
It will be out by now.
Hopefully.
Actually, go ahead and say it. Hey, fuck it, dude. Go and say it. Oh, don't say it.
Don't say it, because we might not be out by now.
Buddy, it's supposed to be out in the next 24 hours.
But
I tweeted big news coming. Big news better fucking come. Otherwise, I'm gonna look like an idiot, like the Tom Brady tweet I had.
Not out those tier ones that are still with us that didn't skip to the Dave interview. They get a little bit more of an information, but I think we wait. Who knows?
All right, just wait.
Yeah, shout out, no free shout out to getting shit done before the weekend starts, and that's it.
Outstanding, Jack. Good stuff.
Amen.
Garrett.
So my shout out, no free shout out, also has to do with ice.
Oh.
So it could be the first life hack we were ever introduced to without even knowing. A couple weeks ago, I did a little throwback, made some ravioli. And that shit was hot.
Uh-huh.
So what did I do? I went to the fridge, clicked the ice, dropped an ice cube or two in there to let it cool off a little bit.
Yeah.
So my shout out goes to the first life hack we learned, putting ice in your ravioli.
Hey, listen, that it might be an underrated boy there. Getting that nice, hot, little tasty treat a little bit earlier than you needed to because you don't want to burn the roof of your mouth. That's an exciting one. That's a good one.
It took me back. I did it without even thinking it. It just naturally happened.
When you said the first life hack, the first thing that came to my mind was creating popsicles in the ice tray. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, no.
I should have fucking said that. I should have just took that for my shout out, no free shout out this week. But bro, with the toothpicks,
Yes,
you make some lemonade or some high C or some shit like that. Damn, I thought you were about to hit me with that. That was, boys, very good shout out, no free shout outs. My shout out, no free shout out is, I think it's going to go in line with Jack's a little bit, being a little more productive. And that is the night before bed, getting your outfit ready before the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that happens 1% of the time. But when you are able to think about, man, maybe let me just put this little shit together real quick and I'll just have, hey, here's my pants, here's my shirt, this is what I'm gonna wear, boom. That morning you wake up, because there is always a tiny bit of a scramble that goes through your head like, fuck, dude, what am I gonna wear? What kind of vibe am I gonna try to present to the outside world? Looking and taking a little investment into me just from an eyes view. And this gives you the opportunity to make that decision the night before. Billionaires do it, boys. Billionaires do it. Maybe we should all do a little bit more. JP.
I have one question. When you're laying out your clothes for the next day, how do you lay them out? Do you lay them out like unfolded, like how you're, you know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah. No, that's a little too like serial killer. That's a little too serial killer. I have a mannequin at my house and I dress the mannequin. I go, oh, I'm gonna look great in this.
I just pictured Taylor's massive clothes on the floor, just like laid out there.
Well, boys, you know me. Like I got like 3 outfits during the week. I usually just take my pants off by the bed and then I put them back on. But if I know I got some shit to do in the morning.
But to me, the best benefit of your shout out is the stress-free shower you get to experience. When you know the second you're getting out, you go, oh, my clothes are waiting for me. They're waiting to get on my body. I'm just getting out, I'm drying off, I'm in, and I'm out of the house.
In and out. No lotion for Jack. Just in and out, baby. No deodorant for Jack. Just a little in and out.
Yeah,
That boy ashy, dog. That boy ashy. Dude, it is a nice little feeling. No, for me, I just take it off the hanger and I kind of just throw them. I have like this little hang off the hanger. Rich. Yeah, boys, you watch. I got lots of hangers, dude. We got lots of hangers out there in the Lewan household. You brought up showers, and I know KFC Radio talked about this. Shower in the morning or shower at night? What's our vibe on that?
Do we want to save this?
What do you mean?
Just I don't know if I feel like this could go. I guess we could be short with it.
We can be short with it. It doesn't have to be a long discussion, but boys, we're doing an intro. This is our time. This is our time for the 4 of us to enjoy our morning.
I am shower at night all the way.
There he is.
Yeah, there's no other correct answer out there.
Right.
No, I'm just look. We've talked about this recently. I like to work out at night as opposed to in the morning. So I'm obviously gonna hit that.
By the way,
I'm gonna hit that night shower. But there's nothing better than getting that fresh cold water on you, like right in the beginning of the morning. I mean, just getting the fucking shit rolling. I don't know. I'm a both guy. And maybe that's not as eco-friendly as I want to promote. But hey, there's enough water to go around right now.
All those older mothers out there listening, everyone knows Jack's double clean.
Double clean, bro.
And also, when you said that fresh cold shower in the morning, are we a little bit of a biohacker out there, homie?
Dude, there's some mornings you just gotta throw it on cold and you gotta suffer through that shit.
Yeah.
And it really will change you. I'm not gonna go out there and be that doctor guy that everyone is. Like the cold tub is like right now, like you've been on the cold tubs for a while.
Yeah.
It's like a huge thing in the social media realm. Everyone's, making their own cold tubs. They got it on the back porch. They're trying to do the bathtub scientists like, yeah, it does this.
Yeah.
And I agree with
Body
all of
ballers
it.
out there too trying to tell us what to do.
But I don't need a guy who works construction telling me how a cold plunge is going to affect my, metabolic rate.
Because you think you're better than them.
Yeah, obviously. Obviously. But cold shower, sure. I'm both guy, though.
All right, I like that. Mitch, I saw you pop up in the back. I want to get your opinion. Go ahead, bub. Go ahead. Sorry, Garrett. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just thought,
I'm morning guy all the way.
psycho. I just keep saying psycho.
I wake up,
Don't
go.
shower at night. That's dirty as crap. That's
You
so
should-
dirty.
Bro, I hate when dudes say crap instead of shit. I hate when dudes do that. But go ahead, Mitch. It's not about JP right now.
I wake up right in the morning, go right down to the gym, work out in my apartment, and then just shower, and then I'm good for the day. I'm not doing like throughout the day. I'm not really like sweating all that
Yeah.
much, so I'm not really per se getting dirty or smelly. Like so, that's just in the morning. You wake up, it helps wake you up, and then that's what it is.
You cold shower or warm shower?
I normally do warm shower, but like in the summer when it gets hot, like just nothing beats a cold shower when it's.
Dude, that is a good little move there. Unless you keep your room real cold. I keep my room cold.
So do I. Yeah.
Frigid.
I can't sleep if it's hot.
Yeah. Hey, well, I don't know why that brought me back to the popsicle thing for the shout out, no free shout out, but everyone just forget I said that because that's gonna be my shout out, no free shout out next week. Huh?
Oh, no. Starting to notice people that do the morning showers just like to flex that they're either taking cold showers or they're working out early or whatever. There's some like weird flexing going on with the morning shower people.
There's some posturing.
Yes.
There's some posturing going on with those people. Garrett, seems like we got a 2-1. It's a 2-1 right now. Are you a morning or a night guy?
I think it's about to be 2-2 because I'm gonna have to side with JP.
Wait. But Mitch in the back goes, let's go. Mitch said morning, correct?
Yeah. Are
Jack,
you
you said
morning or
morning?
night?
I said, can you not
Jack
be-
did
No,
both.
bro.
You know I like
You're
to
not
do
that
both.
clean, dog.
Oh,
You're-
I am.
Oh,
Okay.
shit. Big Jack 2023, Jack.
No,
All right, if I had to choose, I gotta go night because I hit that gym at night, so I'm not gonna be dirty ass in the sheets.
Yeah, you don't want to be dirty ass in the sheets. JP, you said night?
Night, yeah.
So at night, morning.
Jack took the words out of my mouth. I'm not gonna be dirty in the sheets.
You don't want to be dirty in the sheets. It's a
No.
nighttime shower.
You got a nighttime shower because sleep is the most important thing. And if I get in my bed and any part of me feels out of sorts,
Yucky.
fuck that.
Yeah, you don't want
I
that.
can't sleep. But I mean, I didn't shower this morning and I feel great. But
Yeah.
I showered last night.
I thought about taking a shower this morning before a big time exclusive
Right.
interview we
You talked
had,
about
but I
it.
looked at the time. I slept for 12 hours last night. It was
Right.
incredible.
But you showered last night, so you're good.
I did shower last night.
Hey, you showered last night.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna be real with the people.
You said I'm dirty.
We know Taylor's dirty.
No, I didn't say you're dirty. I said you're not that clean.
Okay, that is
Yeah, there is a big difference there.
Still both hurt.
Dude, your boy does lack in the shower department sometimes. It's kind of fucked up to say. I do. There is a feeling though, if you're a little dirty and I get in the sheets, I'm like, fuck this. I gotta rip
You
this
don't
real
always
quick.
have to use the soap. You just
Yeah.
get in there, rinse.
Get in there and rinse.
Yeah.
Just rinse it out. When you get longer hair though, you know this, dude, it gets grimy fast. And I
That's
gotta-
why I got to do it because of my beard.
I got a nice little facial treatment too. I don't know if the people are seeing what's going on with my face, but it's getting younger by the day. I do have a nice little thing, but that does make my hair a little more oily. Let me put a pin in this real quick. I'm gonna hit this game time ad for you guys. Can you zoom that in for the boy real quick? Can you just zoom it in? Let's raw dog this ad, boys. Don't say that. Okay, got it. This is an exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool, the Game Time app. They cracked the code on how to score deals last-minute tickets. And right now, Game Time has a special offer for the big game. All users, not just first-time users, can get $100 off their first big game ticket purchase with code Barstool100. Listen, a lot of people want to hit that big game next week, right? Well, there's words we can't say about the big game, but we know the big game is a big game. All right, so we're just gonna say this game, the Super Bowl, is a big game. SOUP Bowl is very impressive. We love that game, and if you, I am planning to. If I do decide to go to the game, I'm going to use the Game Time app. I have used this when we went to South Carolina. I have used this anytime I need a quick in and out. Maybe I'm going to a NASCAR. I need to get something. Boom, Game Time. Drivers are sports too. Drivers are athletes also. So I do that as well. Download Game Time app, go to the website, enter your email, and redeem code Bussin for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And If you're going to the big game, get $100 off your purchase with code Barstool100, even if you bought tickets with Game Time before. Even if you bought, so if you bought the tickets, you can literally go redeem code Barstool100 for $100 off. That's just money, boys. That's just money. We're all in the hustle together. Speaking of the big game, oh, I forgot to say mine. I'm a nighttime shower guy. The big game. Who we got? I'll go first. I was the last one to speak, so we'll just flip it around, right? We'll do that and we'll come back. Simply put, I believe the Philadelphia Eagles are too good. I think I'm worried about Patrick Mahomes. He has the ankle. I know we doubted him before when we saw what he did against the Bengals. Him losing his receivers, whether it was a pelvis, a knee, an ankle, blah, blah, blah. Patrick Mahomes is the best young quarterback in the NFL. He's a generational talent. If they win, I am more than glad to eat these words. But I believe the Philadelphia Eagles, top to bottom, are a better football team inside and out, other than the quarterback position. I think Jalen Hurts is amazing. I just think Patrick Mahomes is he's a baby goat right now. He just came out of the womb. He's sucking on the tit still. He's doing his thing, getting his legs about him. But boys and girls, we are witnessing a goat. And what a better time to witness a goat as one goat leaves to another goat enters. JP, who do you think's going to win this game?
I got the Eagles.
Boom. We got 2 for the Eagles, boys.
I'm fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Is it consensus?
We're riding with the Eagles.
We're riding with the Eagles, boys. You've heard it on the 200th episode. The boys on the bus, skeleton crew. So we know Bloss is not on here. We know Mitch is not on here. We know exactly who Mitch is going to go with. But based on the gentlemen we have on this bus right now, we are a Fly, Eagles, Fly podcast for the next week when this episode comes out. What an incredible time to ride. And it feels good. Now, we're all riding with the Eagles. What would cause the Eagles to lose this game? What is going to be the reason why the Eagles fall? Is it just Patrick Mahomes? Is it Travis Kelce? Is it the defense? Is it Chris Jones? Is it Frank Clark? Do you guys have anything in the back you think that would unseat the Eagles in the situation? We're flying Eagles flying for this podcast. Big AJ Brown fans.
The only thing it would be is injuries. Other than that, it's a lock.
Wow.
If Kelce and Mahomes get going, that's what would scare me. They're the Tom Brady and Gronk of the new era. And if they get going in a game like this on the stage that's set, that would make me super nervous as an Eagles fan. But other than that, I think the Eagles have been willing their way to this. And
Willing.
yeah.
They've
And,
been a team on the destiny from the beginning.
and if the Eagles win, I think technically we all win because there's 2 ex-Titans on the Eagles, Brett Kerr and AJ Brown. So maybe
We should get a ring.
And I think so too. And I'm already reaching out to the people to see if that's possible.
Yeah.
So tune in next week to see if we do get those
Yeah,
rings.
even if it's a cubic zirconium ring, we don't need the diamonds in that. You go and put them fake boys in there. We'll do Claire's rings all day as long as it says Super Bowl. Can we say Super Bowl? Super Bowl
We can say
champions.
Super Bowl. It's
We can
not
say
bad.
Super Bowl now. We just can't say it in an ad read.
Correct.
But if you were to go to the big game, you can use the Game Time app. Use the Game Time app. You get $100 off using Barstool 100. Boom. That's for you. That's one more. It's a shameless plug for the Game Time. Now, with Jason Kelce and everything, listen, Jason Kelce could go off in this game, but if he doesn't have the receivers, his usual number 1, 2, and 3 receiver, they're going to double Jason Kelce all day. He's still going to have, Travis Kelce. I appreciate you guys. They might double Jason as well. He's an outstanding center. Travis Kelce is a fucking stud. He'll get out there. He'll have his catches, but is he going to have the ability to make the yards he can with double coverage guys over him? That's yet to be seen. You can't just rely on one guy. Now, if the Eagles do win, which we expect them to win this football game, I am extremely happy for AJ Brown. What a fucking dub he has put on. He has posterized. He has dunked on the Tennessee Titan franchise. And that hurts me to say. I was a teammate of his. I got 2 massive Titan fans in the back. We're all hurt at the fact that AJ Brown is no longer on the Titans. But we can separate that. We can move that over to the side. Look at this main course of AJ Brown being traded, being paid, setting a receiving record for a massive franchise with a huge fan base, with a lot of great players that have been on it before. Now we can look at that and say, man, if he gets a ring, good for fucking AJ Brown. What a stud. What a hard-fought individual to stick to his guns and what he wanted, getting what he wanted, and making people pay for that. Now we're taking shots because of it, because we're a Titans podcast. Whether people like it or not, we are biased. Pat McAfee loves the Colts. We love the Titans, and that breaks our heart, but we can also be happy for A.J. Brown. Is there anything I'm missing before we jump into this Dave Portnoy episode? I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this with the 3 of you.
We're
25 minutes in.
25 minutes in
3 hour.
on a 3-hour banger.
Oh, this is gonna be a long one.
Portnoy, dude, he goes into a lot of stuff, dude. Talks about Joe Rogan, talks about the champagne bottles he's made, talks about how he's just the things that people hate him for. He explains a lot of that. And I think that's something people want to tune in for, even the people that hate him, because he is unapologetically himself, and he has made mistakes that he has apologized for in a way that Dave Portnoy apologized for things. We go over that, how he doesn't really say sorry, but he does mean sorry when he says the things he says. You guys are going to love this. One thing to talk about too, Pat McAfee, AJ Hawk. Portnoy has gone on record saying that show probably doesn't happen if it's not for Dave Portnoy. Now, that is a big time Dave Portnoy thing to say. But you see the massive success those two individuals, Pat McAfee and AJ Hawk, are having. Happy for them, but Dave is slicing himself a little piece of that credit cake and giving it to himself. So without further ado, I think it's time you guys are blessed with this episode. Please subscribe, please unsubscribe, please resubscribe. And before we actually do get to the podcast, merch store. Need you to hit that, need you to go on. You want the bow tie merch, you want the Budweiser? Gone forever, right? What's that old baseball bit? Gone forever, Aaron Hernandez. See ya, it's gone. And that has a double meaning now, actually, that I'm realizing. That has a double meaning because he's dead now. So that probably wasn't a good look for me. That probably wasn't a good look for me at all. Honest mistake. I was thinking of when he was hitting dingers and it was just prison. Still talking about murder. So really, I'm just wrong in saying that. But the bow tie merch is now gone. What you can also do, and I've tweeted it, Bussin has tweeted it, and Will has also tweeted it. One thing you can do is we have Arizona merch for the big game. Go snap them boys up. Whether you're an Eagles fan or you're a Chiefs fan, you have now the ability to get that t-shirt. They go hard. I especially love them because your boy is from the great state of Arizona. I'll be rocking that probably all week. We talked about earlier how I wear three outfits. Now, I hate to do this to you one more time, but I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this ad. I'm going to read.
Just go to the episode.
I am not going to do this to you one more time. I am going to cut and I'm going to go to this episode. Please enjoy episode number 200 with Dave Portnoy. Please enjoy. Are we rolling? Yep. All right. Thank God. So just some context. Dave walks in here, guns fucking blazing right away.
Blazing? He walked in.
No.
That took an hour and a half to get that. It was 11 o'clock. Busiest place in Nashville.
On a Wednesday.
You showed up late.
An hour.
What
time is it right now?
I believe it.
I do.
So Dave walks in. He gets mad at us that we don't confirm. Listen, we confirmed.
Well, no,
we said, hey, are you down to go? He said, yeah, when? We said this day. He said, I can do this day. So we did that day.
Just if we're going to start. The first punch was thrown by, well, oh, you're late, you don't respect it. It's like, well,
come out
right.
hot.
So then it's like, all right, that's
a couple weeks ago on the dozen when I was 1 minute late, you're like, would you show up late for a meeting in the NFL? And I said no.
Correct.
I immediately said no.
Right.
I know you have. I know you have. I know
how many guys on the NFL roster?
53.
So if you're 54, 53, you show up early. If you're one, if you're the owner, you show up when you want.
You're not the owner. But hold on.
You see what's happening here.
You don't own this.
Yeah, but I do.
No,
brother, we're partners.
No, I own. How long is the contract?
Penn is for. We are as long as your contract.
2 more years.
As long,
2 more years.
So I own you for
no,
partners.
no.
Well, we're partners.
We'll have a Call of Daddy situation real quick.
Yeah,
I'll call the HBO guy, dude.
Yeah.
Are you fired up to have us again for another 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, I don't talk to you guys much. You don't confirm. You don't do nothing. If you confirmed, I would have been here on time. Although probably not, because the pizza review did take a very long time.
That last comment, you just gave yourself away. You would have been late regardless. So what are you arguing about?
No, I would have gone earlier to the pizza. Like the pizza, we went 11:15. You would think that would be enough time.
Yeah, you'd think so.
But
how far was the pizza away from here?
Pizza's fire, by the way.
You did your best. However, you were still late.
I certainly
To be late is to be forgotten.
I certainly would have sent a text. Hey, I'm gonna be a little late, but you guys don't communicate, so I didn't afford you that same luxury.
Why don't we communicate? I don't understand why
What do you mean
we don't communicate.
Because when someone's traveling, you're like, hey, we're all set, we're still doing. You guys don't. If I didn't reach out, this would have been the first time we talked. We went through this whole thing.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, we did. We went through this last time. When were you gonna reach out?
The first podcast, you made me talk to Gaz because you weren't responding to me, and I had to get with Gaz on when you were traveling in.
When were you
bring up those receipts?
When were you gonna reach out?
If what?
I didn't reach out. Hey, we're still on.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah, because you reached out and said, hey, noon. And so we just said, yeah, because you're a busy guy.
That's it. That's exactly it.
So there's a part of us that wants to be respectful of you coming in. We don't know what you're doing.
That makes no sense.
You confirmed on Monday, Wednesday at noon still.
Correct. Yeah.
And then Will said, yeah, that works for us. You in town
Yeah,
overnight.
It was like
It was confirmed.
yeah,
That is
works for us.
confirmation. That is
Yeah,
confirmation.
Yeah, if you want to swing by, we'll be here. We'll be hanging out.
no.
That's how that.
We've been plotting this 200th episode for the last 50 episodes.
Read those.
You know I don't do well reading, but I will. Monday, 7:09 p.m. Dave Portnoy. Wednesday at noon, still good. Will Compton. Yeah, that works for us. You in town overnight?
Works for us. Just so you
Dave,
know,
hold on, Dave.
no
Well,
problem.
I would hope so.
I'm sitting.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
I'd be coming in tomorrow night. Will, okay, out Wednesday or staying until Thursday? Dave, out Wednesday night. I didn't say anything in this group chat.
Correct. So, like, just so I walk my ass to a commercial flight, get on the plane. I'm taking commercial home. So before I board my plane, I want to make sure this is happening. That's not crazy. I would expect some communication
Pull
from
up
you
last
guys.
night's receipts with Caleb.
Well, hang on.
No, I know it last week. Caleb knows that here. Caleb's been with the program for a while. He's like, hey, you're in Nashville. We're all going to grab group dinner, right? I'm like, well, no one's fucking asked me or talked to me. Am I responsible for planning it? I don't know. I said, I'd love to. Let's, we're going to go to the Vandy basketball game. I was going to push that aside. I go, talk to Will, talk to Taylor. Let's get a group dinner. You said no. You said yes. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to Vandy game. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
No, that's not at all.
Literally what happened.
No, it's not.
I think the group chat was before Wednesday night.
Yeah.
No, wrong.
Yesterday
Wrong.
at 6:14 p.m.
Here we go, boys. 6:14, by the
Taylor
way.
Pressley, 8 a.m. Beasts. Dave is deciding whether to stay tomorrow for a dinner or get out of town. That's
No.
That's what the
said.
receipts say.
Do you guys have obligations or you want to grub?
for tonight?
My wife has a workshop. I got to be home and be dad at 6:30. I said I got to be home at 6:30. And I said I can get food after the pod if you want to get food after the pod.
And then you said,
That's just somebody's.
depends how his pizza
okay,
looks.
Okay, maybe tomorrow I'll see how I'm doing on pizza.
I meant lunch.
Yeah. So we can, the option for lunch is still
Caleb
open.
and I were talking about last night.
Well,
I'll
how do
pull
you
up.
talk about last night at 6:15?
It's the best first 5 minutes of a podcast we've ever had.
Here we go. I'll pull it up right fucking now. And by the way, again, that's you got to get back to this 51st guy on the roster, right? I mean, yeah, your wife has a workshop. I don't know what the fuck that means. Whatever, she has a workshop. Great. I don't know what that means. But coaches in town, owners in town. Hey, babies for this. I get some FaceTime. I guess the guy is.
Let me stop you real quick. You do not own this bus.
Listen,
We don't have to talk about contract negotiations. Well, we work with you. We work with you.
Who was your 100th guest?
You were.
Who's your 200th?
You. Guess who's gonna be our 300th?
And guess
No.
guess who thought about the 200th guest? Us.
Yeah. He didn't reach out to us.
We reached out.
Here,
and
here.
guess what? You didn't reach.
Caleb, you coming to Nashville this week? Yeah, just landed. He asked, my TV situation disaster. His TV disaster. How long are you in town? Should we do dinner with everyone? I go, I leave tomorrow after episode. He says, would say next time I'm Florida bound after a Super Bowl. I could do something later around 8 if people wanted. I was maybe going to go to the Vandy game. Totally up to you. There's solid restaurants. I mean, it's short notice for Will and Taylor, but if they're in, I'm in.
Common miscommunication.
Yeah, just a miscommunication. But I think that's what we're talking about at the end of the day is communication. Right now.
If we were saying that last night to go to dinner, yeah, but that wasn't what was communicated. It was Dave deciding.
That's worse. You look worse.
No,
You had 24 hours.
Listen to what
I
Caleb
thought you had
said.
10 minutes.
He goes, Dave is wondering if he should stay another
but
night
I
or
thought
not.
You said no to last night, which I get because it was like quick. It was like an hour and a half.
but
you
Caleb-
said you can't rearrange your plans in 24 hours. What is
Caleb-
this workshop?
And Caleb, oh, hang on, that's my wife. That's her work. She's doing her work.
Shop.
I'm
You
doing
call it a
Carpenter.
shop.
She's a carpenter.
Workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they're holding for the managers, whatever they're doing. They're all doing like a little team building thing.
Yeah.
Little workshop. And
Growth.
I got to go on dad mode. I know. I get to work and play a lot, so it's like it's the least I could do.
Yeah.
But the babysitter thing, then I have to. It's a lot of.
Yeah, that shows right. This is all leading back to why you didn't get the hey, I'm gonna be 15 minutes late.
You didn't say, hey, I'm gonna be 15 minutes
we'll
late.
be
That's why you didn't get it.
I texted at
It's
12:05.
intentional. I'm not. I'll show.
But why would you not do that? That's
Because
a
why didn't-
reflection of you.
No,
Th-
no,
well,
it's
what-
a reflection
you
of I
could've
give what I
texted-
receive. I give what I receive.
No. You could have texted, I'm 15 minutes late. Then you could have came on here and been like, I communicated, you guys did. And
No,
there's nothing else to talk
no.
about.
People know me. I give what I receive.
Yeah.
No.
Good old fashioned boys busting balls.
Yeah, fine.
Good old fashioned boys
Speaking
busting
of,
balls.
The fucking that kicker. Who would he play for?
What kicker?
Oh no.
The fucking guy who missed 5 field goals, extra points.
Brett Maher. He was my.
Where do you go to school?
He's,
He's your guy.
He's our guy. You knew that.
No, I didn't.
Where do you go to school? Where do you go to school? My arm.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you did. You see this little shit
No.
on your face, bro.
No. Why are you flying commercial? What's going on? Do you want to talk about your
Stock
finances?
price?
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, I lead from the front. I'm not going to be crisscrossing country on private jets when the stock's in the toilet.
Why give it? Why is the
pulling
stock
up
so
their
low right
pants.
now? What's going on?
Entire stock market's low.
Yeah, but
Isn't
This is
Davey
Barstool
Trader
Sports.
making a comeback?
Yeah, it is. We're gonna bring that back in March once the deal. I'll have a little more deal once our deal with a little more money once our deal with Penn officially closes, so then I can go spend.
when does Penn officially close?
I think it's supposed to be February 1.
And how does that feel to know that you're no longer going to be the boss?
Nothing will change. That like, I mean, ultimately, I haven't been the boss since the Chernin deal. They bought 51% of it, so that was what 5 years ago. But I still have final say on content.
Was
And
that 5 years ago, or was that was like
6 years ago?
no, it might have been 3 years ago.
No, it's more.
Because
Chernin.
we signed with you guys, and a week
was
later
8 years
it
ago.
came out.
It was 8 years ago. Wait,
I have no
Chernin.
clue.
I'm talking about
first.
Penn. I'm talking
Penn's
about Penn.
3.
Okay,
Penn's
Penn was 3 years ago.
Penn will be 3 years in February. The first time we sold was Chernin, 51%. So it's been like 8 years where I haven't. If someone really wanted to put their foot down, be like, "You're not in control. You want to do this? Fuck you. We're doing this." That's been 8 years. But no one's ever done that. And I'm not a crazy person. So on the business side, if someone really feels strongly,
Mhm.
I generally can be convinced like they're doing it for a reason. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the gambling shit. I mean, you're seeing a little into the world. It's crazy. So I understand. There's things I'd like to say. There's things I like to do at times that I cannot do. And I understand I made that deal. I'm not a fucking crazy person. I'm not trying to submarine everything.
Yeah.
What do you mean by you made that deal? You're not a crazy person.
I signed over, like, when I signed,
The majority.
when I took the money,
Yeah.
I understand people bought it. I don't want to fuck the people who bought it over. They bought it, and there's things that can say or do that can make the overall goals of, take, for example, this gambling. There's people who are trying to get regulated in Massachusetts. You know, and one of the people, they just fucking hate me for a variety of reasons. I hate them, like really hate them.
For a variety of reasons.
Correct. Probably I hate them double what they hate me, and they really hate me. But I don't say anything because it would complicate us getting our license in Massachusetts.
So who leads that conversation then if they hate you that much? Does
Definitely not Dave.
does Erica do that?
No, it's the Penn people.
They do that?
Yeah. Erica will sometimes get brought in, like, because a lot of the reasons that people, it tends to be pretty similar, and I'm sure you guys have seen it by now. The people who don't like us tend to have the same bullet list, like, you know, they're sexist, racist, chauvinistic, whatever. So Erica is a very good ambassador of like everything you think is wrong. They don't care what I say. So
Yeah.
she comes sometimes for people who really hate us is like, oh shit, like she's the CEO. Like that sometimes helps. Not why we hired her, but it does help.
Yeah.
You
But
ever,
I'm sure it was one of those, hey, that is a good deal that she's a woman.
Totally. Like,
Yes.
and people say that forever. I've told this story. When we sold the first time, we got a recruiting firm to interview CEOs, and we had probably 70 interviews, all male. Hated all of them.
one of the first things that happened after they bought 51%.
Yeah.
Okay.
I maybe one made it to the second round. Like, so I would meet them first. If this person's interesting, at the time they went to Dan, Kevin, and K Marco, like the next group. Everyone had to be like, yep, we like this person. Maybe one made it to the second round. In the second round, everyone was like, no, we don't. And I didn't really like that person either. Erica, I met by accident. She just happened to be at a meeting I was at. We hit it off, and everyone loved her. So it was never, I mean, the heat that was on us was not on us like it is now. So it wasn't like, oh, she's a female, that'll help.
Mhm.
It has helped, but it had nothing to do with the reason.
Yeah, there is definitely like a thought process about Barstool that has affected us even. I was doing a puck drop for the outdoor game at Nissan Stadium. It was like Prez versus Lightning.
Yeah.
And I was wearing a Barstool hat, and they're like, you have to take the hat off.
Yeah,
And
it's
I was
crazy,
like,
right?
I'll just Sharpie it. So I Sharpied it. I Sharpied the little logo on the side. They're like, can't do that. Which is wild because Biz is doing stuff directly with the NHL.
Nuts. It's all
Doesn't
the
make
way
any
across.
sense.
Even with the regulators, they'll be. I've seen articles like the talent at Barstool, meaning our people, they're like 1,000 times worse than everywhere else.
Mhm.
People say that, and they're like the other companies don't have it. Well, go look at FanDuel. Who's their guy? McAfee. Who do he work for? Us. Go look at DraftKings. Who's their guy in Boston? Carabas. Who do he work for? Us. They just don't like us, and they
Yeah.
pay. It doesn't matter. It's like everyone's plucking from us because our talent grows and becomes. Even like Alice Cooper. Like no one ever says she came with us. you know, whether you want to go look at $1 million worth of game, we just have so many people across so many different things. And when I say us, I mean, frankly, a lot of it's me. People don't like me, and they view me as the brand, and they can't separate it. So the hockey crowd's crazy. They're a unique crowd in itself, because like where our biggest sport in terms of the athletes is hockey. Like the NHL lives, breathes, sleeps hockey. We have by far the #1 hockey podcast with Spittin' Chicklets. Like most sports, there's other stuff in there. There is nothing else in hockey. Like they're the voice of hockey. Biz is like the Charles Barkley of hockey.
Yeah.
And you still get what you just said.
I wonder how that market's going to grow, because hockey does such a good job. Even their players, they're like really not allowed to show personality. Have to wear a suit. Can't wear like Jordans and stuff like that. There's really no dressing up. It's like clean cut. Who's the black dude that played for the Preds? PK Subban.
He's a big Barstool guy.
Yeah, great guy, but he was louder and more boisterous, and he got out of the Preds. He's been traded a bunch. He's a stud.
Yeah, he's done. I think he retired.
Did he retire?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did.
He was a stud for the Predators for a while. I wonder how that's all going to change, because the Spittin' Chicklets is really good. Yeah, they do a phenomenal job.
Hockey's niche compared to the others.
Yeah,
sports.
but how do you not look at Spittin' Chicklets, and if you're another group of hockey players, go, we're going to do that too?
Yeah. Well, Biz, just like anything, let's flip it to you guys doing football. You'll know this better than I will. It's not that easy to find the guys. Like, they have the perfect combination of Biz is amazing, Whitney's amazing, and Rear Admiral's like the perfect kind of sidekick in that thing. So that's not easy. I mean, is there like, I don't know of any in hockey. You guys have the football background. You got all upset when I said that, the active player thing, but like, who else is doing it in football?
Yeah, but I think he's done that a couple times.
Who else is doing? Well, like you said, we don't own you.
No, football.
One time he said it, I do give him the benefit of the doubt that he was drawing a blank. But yeah, it's like,
who else?
You gotta know.
We're
now the Kelsey brothers.
The Kelsey brothers are in it. I think a lot more, like, it's a lot smaller stuff. I know Cameron Jordan did it with, who's a running back that went to Alabama?
Mark Ingram.
They did a podcast for a little bit, but it was like just off season stuff like that. But it's definitely grown.
Yeah.
We were like the first ones active. Maybe AJ Hawk. We had that conversation all the time. Like AJ did a couple episodes and with Pat.
AJ Hawk, AJ Hawk, like that's me. I mean, that AJ Hawk's with McAfee.
That's right. It did start
because of you.
I introduced them.
There was like a college football tour thing, right?
Yeah. So we, when McAfee worked for us, we were doing our college football show, and I don't know whether maybe we're at Ohio State or something, but AJ was one of the first athletes that I was aware of who was taking the media side, not on TV, but like podcasting very seriously. He had something called the Hawkcast, maybe still does.
And it started when he was on the Bengals.
Yeah,
he did a couple episodes.
He was taking it very seriously. And so I think he was just looking around the internet being like, who's doing what? Started following Barstool, connected with me. I went on his podcast, talked. We thought about hiring him a little bit. He was still doing stuff, but we needed somebody at one point for a college football show that McAfee was on, and AJ came over and they met and hit it off. But yeah, that's how they met.
Yeah.
All roads lead to Barstool across the internet.
Yeah, but you see the way you're talking, you can understand why people would be.
That's just a fact.
No, but you talk indefinite. It's like all this is because of me. I did this. I brought them together. The only way AJ and Pat are together. Like, if I don't know you,
that's a fact.
I'm just saying. But it's the way you word it.
You do a great job of weirdly taking credit for all of this stuff.
No. Yeah. Let me Pat McAfee is the first example. He's superstar.
I think it's funny because you play into it. Like people kind of hate.
Yeah, but I'm serious. They never meet if it wasn't. They're not together if it's not for me.
But the way you phrase it, like
you're so like. How do you want me to say?
Listen, I'm not coming at you. I'm saying the viewers who are watching.
What's that? I did posture a little bit. You're doing a lot of
the camera. Is this the camera? Pat McAfee and AJ Hawk never meet if it weren't for me. That's just a fact.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not saying that's not true, but I'm saying, like, if you're like, hey, people don't like me, people associate me with Barstool, and because that's why they don't like Barstool. That's
not why they don't like me. No.
Sport clips. Consider this: not every hairstyle is created equal. Many stylists don't have as much experience cutting men's hair, but you don't know it until it's too late. At Sport Clips, all stylists undergo a specialized training specifically in how to cut and style men's hair, making them not just stylists, but scissor cutting scholars and fade fanatics. After all, It's not just an average haircut. This is the big leagues. This is the big league. This is the big league we're talking about. And these haircutting professionals, wheels are falling off, boys, but Sport Clips is unbelievable. Don't hand your bushy old noggin over to just anyone with a pair of clippers. Sport Clips takes cutting men's hair to another level, which is why they truly are the pros in men's hair. Subscribe, unsubscribe, or resubscribe. Hit the merch store for us. Buy yourself a Whistle Pig bottle, and back to the episode.
Why don't people like
No.
They don't like me.
It's the overconfidence that will turn people off a little bit, and I like it. Will and I know you, but I'm saying people. Oh, you don't like it?
No, I thought you were gonna put me in box or whatever you're about to say.
No, I'm saying I can understand. Like, people can be turned off to that kind of confidence.
If someone doesn't like me because of that, they actually like me.
You need to let's hear a little bit more about that. Let's hear a little bit more.
Like the Howard Stern. Like that's like people who that old like the movie when he's like they're coming in, they're like, we got this weird stat. People who love Howard listen for 5 minutes. People who hate Howard listen for 10. That hate overconfidence, or that the people who truly hate me because they think like and that's not someone who thinks I'm evil. That's someone that is an arrogant cock. Like, I can deal with that. And they're probably paying attention to the Barstool world.
Right.
And we have people in the Barstool world who part of it, which we've always wanted, it's real, but it's like WWE. It's like, I like that guy. I don't like this guy. But you're paying attention to the world. You need black hats. You need good guys. You need all of it. I like that.
Yeah.
There's people who truly, like whether it's the Business Insider article or it's interviewing Trump, there's a whole side of hate I get that is not rooted in like we pay attention or giggle or find anything entertaining. It's like he's or they are the problem in like the world. I got a very real different type of hate.
Yeah.
Like, that's the ones that are tough to do. I don't care. Someone's like, oh, he's cocky, arrogant. Yeah, it's a little shtickish, a little. The AJ Hawk McAfee's not. They literally met because that I'm being serious. No, maybe they would have met, but they're like together.
The synergy, the chemistry.
We introduced that probably doesn't happen, but I'm not like McAfee's so successful and so talented. He's going to be successful no matter what. AJ's perfect, but you need synergies. You need things to meet.
Right. But when you started Barstool, you were just dishing out newspapers, having fake sponsors, a couple of real sponsors, fake sponsors, and you grew it into this empire now.
Mm-hmm.
As you grew it into the empire and you see like that evil hate vibe that are coming from people that actually hate you, at any point were you like, that had to affect you at one point until you got over it?
The only thing that really got to me was the Business Insider, which was a sexual allegation shit because it was brutal. Like if you read it, and again, people do it all the time. I try to compartmentalize with other people. If you read it and really didn't do research, if I read it and didn't know myself and what I've done and what I have, I'd be like, this guy's fucking a problem. Like this guy's Hitler.
Right.
So, you know, that really bothered me just because it's like my parents are going to read it at the time. My girlfriend, I hadn't met them yet. Like they read that before they met me. It's like, who the fuck's this guy? So that shit really, that was the only time I've been like down. Like, man, this is, you know, to be totally honest, a little bit like frightening because it was patently false. Not like 0.00001 could be true. It was just not true. It was based in fact, fiction. And it's like, I knew that. And yet it was out there and it was being spread. And like, I always use that, like Mina Kynes, that ESPN, like she retweeted that article. I'll hate her forever for it. It's like, how can you fucking retweet that with no knowledge? And then when I did my defense, which I think any objectively minded person who looked at it, be like, he's telling the truth. He has receipt after receipt after receipt after receipt backing him up. And it came quickly. It wasn't like the second it came out, it's like 10 minutes later, it's like he's put together his defense. She ignores that. Like, to me, how do you do that? Like
that's
that
ESPN girl or the people that wrote the
ESPN. It's like the person who wrote it, I think, agenda and all. And I tried to sue. I mean,
would you be able to forgive somebody like that? If she did,
maybe.
She did say something?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I'm with you. It's like when that was happening, whether people would hit me up or not, it's almost the first reaction is, okay, well, have you seen everything Dave's put out there? Because there's a lot of people who can see all the messaging. Because Business Insider, I mean, a massive audience. He can go out there and people who think you're an arrogant cuck, whatever it is, and they don't even look at Barstool because they're just like, I'm not a stoolie. They just see the article and see nothing else. And it's like, well, this validates everything that we've thought of. And blah, 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 blah.
I won't change the opinion for the most part of people who hate me. They're always going to hate me. I don't care. But there's something that really elevated of what I'm usually accused of, which is a joke that went sideways or something like, singing a lyric to a song that I shouldn't have 5 years ago. I can live with that. I make mistakes or won't do it again. But that, like, girl running away from Dave, that was tough to see.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I sued. I sued. I
Yeah.
spent my own money. I didn't get anywhere. It's so fucking crazy.
And the issue with the internet, it's out there forever. Like
Yeah.
I my freshman year, this girl got tangled up with one of my best friends who was a football player. She says that I threatened her. And to this day, I was 18 at the time. I'm 31 now. So do the math on that. People still bring it up on Twitter every single day. And it's like, I can't literally say anything, but that's not true.
Right.
And now, like, I have 2 girls. I got to tell them when they're older, hey, you're going to see things about dad that I have to literally explain to them at a younger age because it's going to be accessible to them. And it's like, fuck, dude.
Yeah. The
That's-
craziest thing.
The girl
about
guy
that-
stuff, like that is like all the other stuff, like the lyrics, all that. It's like you can fuck up, say something, and be like, "Hey, I messed up,"
Right.
and then move on. But the girl that is one of those things where it's like people draw the line so fast there.
And even me. And it's crazy because what you just said. So they wrote the article and we had the lawyer and I do the entire, like, my defense. And I'm like, are they going to issue a retraction? Will they have to take it down? Because I thought it's like, I proved it. Like, and the law is so fucked up. Like, it's actually news now. Like, they wrote it, but now it's news. So they can justify, well, this is news. It's a public figure's news. So that was fucked up. I mean, I'm over it now, sort of. Like, I'd love for them to have a real failure in whatever they want. I want them to be very unsuccessful and miserable, but yeah, that's the only thing that really, that side of it. And even like the New York Times shit that just came out not too long ago is more on the gambling side, but that reporter who was writing an article, I mean, I knew about it for a year.
What was that article about?
It was more about me being a degenerate gambler. And it's
Yeah.
like, you shouldn't be associated with gambling. But the woman, she was actually responsible who wrote it. She has a Pulitzer for getting Bill O'Reilly out of Fox News. She did a whole thing on them and really brought down him and part of Fox. For a year, I was getting calls, like just on my social media. Any girl that I followed me, mentioned me, anything, Reddit, you name it, she had called them. I don't even know how she got the phone number, being like, you have stories of Dave, you have this. So for a year, I'm waiting for the New York Times to basically drop a very similar hit piece. No, they didn't get anything. And she switched it to Dave's a degenerate and his dad said he's a degenerate. But it sucks to know at any time somebody can just drop something on your head that's not true.
Yeah.
So,
like, degenerate is such a gray area line, though. Like, how do you qualify as a degenerate gambler?
these people said Dan does the can't lose parlay.
Mhm.
That's what he called it.
I
He's
saw that one. That was not too long ago,
yeah,
right?
this is the same thing. They're like, that you can't do that. You're telling people it can't lose. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Isn't it the same thing, though, when you see like a FanDuel commercial and they're like, bet $100, get
Yeah.
$200. It's not, you can't lose.
we get treated differently. That's the nuts and bolts of it. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, we we just do. That's just comes with territory.
So for Penn to be truly successful and really compete with these, like, the rapid growing gambling world, how do you get rid of that stigma so that, like, Barstool can be the head of that and be treated fairly with everybody else? MGM,
Yeah,
FanDuel,
well,
all that
I don't
stuff.
know that matters. I mean, as long as we get the licenses, like we got shut out of New York, which is the reason they gave was our technology wasn't up to par, but we used the same technology as our competitors. So, I mean, somebody somewhere did something. But other than that, we get in the States. It's interesting because we're not playing the same game right now. A lot of, if you're like MGM, FanDuel, DraftKings, they spend so much money and they lose so much money. Like DraftKings could be out of business in 6 months, and I don't think tons of people would be surprised.
What do you mean when you say lose so much money? Because they're spending so much on talent to promote their stuff, and then they're not
Advertise.
really seeing
Correct.
it through.
Yeah, they're
getting
not
customers.
They get customers, but they're public, so they put their earnings and they're losing hundreds of millions of dollars every quarter.
Okay.
Penn is not in that game. Penn's different than DraftKings, FanDuel, a little similar more to MGM, but they have physical casinos. They make money as a company,
Yeah.
so they're not interested in spending hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising.
To try and acquire market share.
Correct.
Because they acquired you guys, which you guys
Correct.
are a market share.
Yeah, and even
So they kind of did it for the brand
Yeah.
Barstool without doing it on a singular person
right.
like other.
And the problem in the gambling industry, if you look at it, I think what people are worried about. So FanDuel, DraftKings, like McAfee is not, using him as an example, is not owned by FanDuel. He has a contract. That contract comes up. They're going to have to fucking write another gigantic check to keep him or whoever the company is. And they're going to have to continue to spend advertising in NFL. And the question people have, investors or, money guys, if they stop advertising, what happens to those customers? Does somebody who like Barstool, but there's not all these promos and these things, and now no one's advertising, they just jump right back to us or go somewhere else? So is it like fool's gold, basically? Like once you stop spending all this money, how do you keep your customers? Because they're just, are they going to be loyal to a brand? We're probably the only brand they're loyal to. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the space.
Now you see you lost your license in New York. Is that
We never got one.
You never got one?
Yeah.
Is that a reason for the move to Chicago?
No, that's just Dan wants to go there.
Dan wants to go to
I
Chicago.
don't think anybody in New York outside Kevin who's there like loves it. Like I'm a boss. A lot of people, it's probably similar. People love where they're from. Like I love Boston. I'd love to go back there. But no, Dan just wants to go back home.
Now, so why did you move to New York in the first place? Just is
When Chernin
The
bought
city
us.
is?
No, Chernin bought it. Yeah, Chernin bought us. And there's really 4 people at the time. Me, Dan, Kevin, K. Marco. And the concept was the first 24/7 blog reality show. Smitty too in Philly. He wasn't in the discussions because he's lazy. So it's like, let's all come under one house. And well, you guys have been, you probably know because you're out here. When there's a lot of people around, it's easier to create content. You sometimes just fall into content. You don't even know what's going to go on. So we knew we had to go under one city. And to be honest, Kevin at the time was the only one with a kid. So it was the hardest for him to pick up and move. I was willing to go to New York. Dan was willing to go New York. So we said New York. And it's a good place for media. Like, I don't know, Erica, probably we wouldn't have had her. It's harder to draw talent in Boston or even in Chicago than it is New York for media. So
Yeah, because people do their PR runs. And
yeah,
stuff to come through New
exactly.
York.
So that was the vision. Like, make it every like celeb, athlete, whatever who comes through New York, they want to stop in Barstool, do podcasts, stuff like that.
Do you ever think back on the time when you sold 51% to Chernin, like you could have went about it another way to keep that ownership? Like, okay, maybe I can go on my own and hire a CEO.
No, because we are at a time when something had to change. I think Dan, Kevin were a little bit fed up with me, I guess, at the time. Fed up's the right word. It's a band that had been together a long time. And I think they were because we were just kind of cruising. And I was starting to make pretty good money. They were making okay money, not like they are now. But it's like, what's the next step for us? Like, I started it. I predated those guys by 10 years, maybe 8 years. Like I was doing the newspaper. So I had been at it a lot longer so when they started, there was a very clear hierarchy. Like I was by far the biggest and they were coming along. And by the time that had been sold, they were all, both, big names in their own right and continue. Obviously you see them now. So it's like, all right, we don't want to be making, a couple $100,000. I don't even remember what it was at the time. What's the next level? And it made sense. Okay, we can take a jump and, all make out. And
fortunately, there's another boss coming in versus Dave swinging the sword and we're all in the same
yeah,
game.
it was a clear path for them to get where we've gotten, which they're all very soon going to be like multi-millionaires so I owned 100% of the company. And when we did that first deal, I just sliced it off. It was part of it's like, all right, here's percentages for you guys. So you all own now parts of Barstool. So if we get to this next sale, because Chernin came in and it was very clear. Our goal is to sell it. Like we want to build it and then sell it. So they got the percentage. Like, all right, we're all now trying to get to that next step, which was the Penn, which is the big transaction that made them all like everything worth it. It's like everything we did was worth it.
How does everything change with Penn coming in?
Nothing. It won't change. So the Penn deal was similar to Chernin. They're like, they did deep dive. They're like, we're comfortable with you guys. We trust you guys. Jay, the CEO, is awesome. If he has any issues, he calls me. And we never really totally disagree. Like he always, every conversation was like, hey, can you do this or whatever? He prefaces like, you do what you want, but like, it would help if we did this. I've never had an issue with anything he said. And I would, you can't guarantee it. I don't think I would ever sell to somebody that I didn't feel like totally get us. Like you guys met Jay, I assume, obviously. Have you?
I don't think we have met Jay.
Was he at the upfronts?
I don't know. He was.
Was he in Arizona?
Arizona.
The Arizona
No,
Bowl.
he wasn't. No.
No, I don't think we have met him
If I
then.
did, be at the upfronts.
Like just like normal, like blue collar background, worked in Vegas, went to Harvard, played football at Harvard. He's just like a good guy. Like you again, you can't always anticipate agreeing with everybody, but as long as you think someone's like rational and gonna listen, it's good. So not much has changed. And this second transaction was done. Like a lot of people have gotten a little confused. I don't say confused. When Chernin sold to Penn, it was always this sequence of events. We're going to buy this percentage, and then 3 years later, the rest. I don't think they want to buy it all right away because they're government regulated. They didn't want to like scare people right away, so they wanted to ease into it. But this was always all the way to the price. Like everything was built in 3 years ago, so nothing is really changing with this.
No,
Did you do, when you did the sale from 3 years ago, did you escalators? Like, hey, if Barstool starts reaching these numbers?
Yeah. But they're all within restrictions. So you couldn't go above a certain number. We're at the highest number you can go, but it was always, you can't go above this and you can't go below this. So it was pretty wedged in.
but there's going to be no change as far as like the hierarchy stuff goes, like within the offices. You know what I mean? Like Penn takes over all of Barstool.
No, because it really, like I said, for lack of better words, it was already, that hierarchy was like already there. So if Penn came down, like, we really want you to do this, theoretically, Chernin could have been like, we still own the majority of the company, so no. But they knew they were selling it to Penn. So it really hasn't changed. Like Penn doesn't tell us what to do on the content. It's more, I think, back end starting now to moving forward, like migrate systems over, accounting, things like that. But not, the content's pretty separate. Like they know why they bought it. I mean, there's stuff like you guys, for example, where I can't just be like, yes, like I know that's like a big ticket item for us. I got to make sure everybody knows that. Could we have maybe slid that in, even if they're like, no? Yeah, I guess we could have. I wouldn't, because like, what well, do you want to start a relationship like that?
Why are you saying like, yes, like you have to like, why are we a conversation? Because you don't own us.
No, I didn't mean it like
So
that.
it's still like negotiating.
Yeah, like
they're trying to pay. They're trying to spend. They got to spend money, and they're trying
Correct.
to. They got to still clear it through Penn.
Like you guys are paid by us. Where I'm not saying you don't, but like you guys are well paid.
Yeah, you enjoy establishing that.
No,
you don't own
I
it.
just found that bit in the beginning. I was just trying to play off of it.
Right. So it's like, and by the way, it's not that really, you guys aren't that different from, we've morphed a lot, because like we don't own $1 million worth of game. Like they came to us, we re-upped with them.
They're balling.
Yeah, they're
Massive.
unbelievable. They're unbelievable. You know what? I was thinking that what they do, which I don't know that you guys do, which is a huge advantage for them, is this. Like they'll drop everything and go anywhere.
We're starting to look
That's
at
a big plan for 2022.
Yeah, because that makes it a lot easier, obviously, to get
some of the
guests.
big,
bigger
guests.
if you're willing to come to us, then they'll do it. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's guys that's like, are you bringing the bus? It's like, I mean, we're not. We can't bring the bus.
You could.
We interrupt this episode to bring you another ad for Whistle Pig Whiskey, specifically the Bussin' with the Boys single barrel Whistle Pig Whiskey. We've talked to you about the bundle. You can grab the bundle with the fun things on top, the syrup, and all that. You can get that until February 12th. It is incredible. This beautiful form of elixir is a godsend to every individual that happens to purchase it. It is incredible. We love it. You should love it. I hope you guys get it. If it does not ship to your state, see a friend, tell a friend, call a friend, go and send it to them, have them ship it to you. We've said the phrase 1,000 times. It's like my number one go-to drawstring phrase. People helping people, that's powerful stuff. Click the link in the YouTube description and use code GameDay23 for 50% off the bundle. And with that said, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Back to this episode.
Like I did, what the hell's the Jeff Wittick. You know who Jeff Wittick is? He's like kind of a YouTuber. He's big. He's one of the Cali guys. He does a barbershop. He does, his thing is he'll interview you. He has his own hair products.
Yeah.
But he'll do like his interview of his guests. He's had everybody. They have millions of views on a barbershop. He has what I would say, cut this like here, puts it on trailer. Someone drives it around.
Is this him right here?
Yeah. See, there it is. He actually gives the haircut.
No, is this the guy that walks up to people in the middle of the street and go, "Hey man, can I get you a cut"? That's not that guy.
No, he has a full. If you play this, play that, you'll see he pulled this up to my house. So you could theoretically build a mini and have one of your minions just drive it around. Like you can do. It's what he had. Like if I was younger in the game, it's like, oh, I would do that for myself if I was interviewing it. Then you can pull it up anywhere too, and you can pull people on.
But as far as like being able to jump in, jump out, and not have to worry about a lot of logistics, it's almost like the whole pick up and go, like $1 million worth of game and them do.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's easier versus like, hey, let's make sure all this stuff's getting.
Well, yeah, if you have someone that can drive, you can almost get like, see, that's his mobile. He's driving in it right now. It's like his mobile set, and it literally looks like a true.
Could be a deal. They've sitting here putting us on game.
Yeah.
There it is.
Get him sitting outside the
Like you're
little.
just sitting stools.
But he goes in when he cuts the hair.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah, I
That's a
know.
good show of thigh. In
Yeah.
that video right there.
So that's his mobile set.
Little Airstream.
We got the Airstream right there.
Yeah.
And we could definitely do something like that. That'd be cool. I think like for this year, our plan is to go to people, call bigger A-list names, and be like, we can come to you right now
I
or the
assume
next
that's
2
the
weeks.
biggest problem if you're trying to get guests is
Yeah, because Nashville is a great little hub for people coming in, but it's not as big as like a New York, or
Right.
Chicago, or LA,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
How was the negotiation of getting $1 million worth of game back?
it went well, and that probably speaks to both sides. Like they really want to stay, and I don't think they were like, we're not going to hold you hostage for the top, because they were getting big offers from a lot of people. But they're like, you guys have been great to us. We want to stay. For us, they're so unique. Clearly, we like look around. We're a bunch of white guys. As we have the #1 urban podcast, so it's huge to keep. And but it was same. We had to go Jay, and I said, I'm pretty honest. Like, call her daddy. That number, I'm like if you want to do it, I do it. I think we already have her audience who knows who we are, and we'll never make money on it. She'd have to be perfect. So it's like, Spotify's paying a ton. I don't know if we'll make money on $1 million worth of game, but I think they're so good for Barstool that I was like, if it was that's how I look at everything. Like, if it's my money, I would keep them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he saw it the same way. I mean, they've done so many things under, like Dion's not with us without them. So they, open doors. And again, I always tell like one of my favorite clout stories. I was in Miami, and this club you couldn't get in. And I know a lot of the owners, so I could get in the door, but you got in the doors shoulder to shoulder, couldn't fucking move. And I'm not a big stand guy. So I tried to walk into like a corner. I was with my girlfriend, bunch of like big black guys, like, nope, can't come in. Meek Mill saw me from behind. He goes, that guy, he can come in. They pushed aside, got us
No
in,
shit.
because Meek is really good friends with $1 million worth of game.
That's
So
awesome.
like, you're the $1 million worth of game.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what the fuck?
That is hilarious.
Yeah,
As
it's
you
my,
walk
like,
in proudly.
Yeah, right. If like somebody didn't know
Get your
any,
hands off
yeah,
me.
if
I
anybody,
appreciate you, Meek.
if anybody didn't know any of the names involved, they're like, that guy has no chance of getting to that corner. And then it's like the C's part. It was top moment. top
What a
moment.
feeling.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
feeling that had to be. Yeah, standing in the clubs is not.
No, it's the worst.
Clubs are not that fun to me in general.
I
But
hate
to
them.
go in there, it's a mosh pit of sweat.
Yep.
And then horny guys everywhere. It's
No,
just fucking tough.
I'm also
horny boys
old.
everywhere.
I'm old now, so
Yeah,
it's
you're old. You have a
like,
I'm
girlfriend.
horny.
Yeah, but no, you can be horny sitting here. You don't have to be in like a
Yeah.
fucking club.
3 horny boys sitting on a mic right now.
Yeah,
Look at the
exactly.
3 of us.
Yeah, but that's Miami. Miami's Gaz, our boy Gaz. I mean, he's
He runs Miami.
that is
Doesn't he?
not true. He goes out in Miami.
Talk about Gaz a little bit.
What about him?
How's he been?
I don't see him a lot because
I feel like the boy catches a lot of heat out there on the internet.
He does.
What's he get cheat for?
It just being a guy who doesn't do nothing but go to
Yeah.
clubs in Miami. And
Well, which is probably like pretty true, like 90% true. So he's an OG. I mean, I've said he put in the time. He's been with me. He's really the first employee, so he's been with me forever. And he's in like semi-retirement in Miami, but he knows the company inside out. He knows where the bodies are buried. He's just, I trust him with anything. But, the day that Business Insider article came out, my lowest point, he was in a club in Miami. I mean, it's like he doesn't give a fuck. He's getting into the
gas.
club.
No, I'm trying to get some pub for gas.
Man, he should have been there.
Yeah.
Who was the first people to call you for the Business Insider? Or the
What
first
do you-
people who were like the ride or dies that were like, hey, we got your back. Because
Everybody, for the most part, everybody at that point in Barstool sort of had my back. Like I wrote an email just being like, hey, it's coming out. It's not true. If you have any questions, let me know. But most of our guys, I always think it's one of the compliments to Barstool. Like the original guys are still fucking there. So they know me pretty well. And I guess what, the shit that goes on in a bedroom, maybe you'd be shocked by somebody, but I think they know I don't lie, and it also helps maybe if there was the second hesitation, then it's like, well, everything he's been saying just dropped all the facts to back it up. But most of the people knew it was coming. There was nobody really, like even my parents, like I let them know it's coming. I let everybody know. I could tell it was taking a pretty dark turn because girls were calling me, leaking, like they were taping their conversations with the reporter. So I could hear like the line of questioning and what they were saying. So I had a pretty good idea what was coming.
And that's pretty good awareness.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
to know that stuff's going down.
yeah.
I feel like I'm not aware like that. If girls were calling me and be like, so how do you feel about just asking me questions?
You probably would, in the sense it was so exhaustive, the research on me. Like if someone just went, and I don't know what, like for a long time, I mean, I was a single guy. So I was on social media. I don't know. I had a lot of people, girls that I was following or they were following me, and they were all contacted.
Yeah.
So if you're just getting weird calls out of the blue, I was getting girls I never spoke to, never met, being like, what is this about? It was very exhaustive. And, if you have 1,000 people and just 30 of them are like, hey, have you heard about this? You start getting a heads up, like weird shit's going down.
No doubt.
When talking about all the talent, the OGs that have been there, what's it look like in the future? Because I would assume now that Penn is acquired, I mean, you have a deal that's up in like 2025, similar to when we're up. What's it look like for you beyond your deal?
So I think I'll always be attached to it. Like I don't remember what we were arguing about. My favorite parts of it aren't like what you and I did, like negotiating contracts and shit like that. I really don't want to do that. Like I after probably 2 years, like I'll still be there, but I don't, that shit, like
You won't be able to help make decisions the way you were this past year.
I don't think he doesn't want to make decisions.
If people ask me, but I'm not going to be on the phone like negotiating and things like that. I'd give my opinion, be like, yeah, I think we should really keep Will and Taylor. Like I do it, but I'm not going to be arguing. I don't know what time it was and shit like that. Like I'm pretty happy in my world. Like honestly, I'd like to do more. It's weird. It has nothing to do. Well, it kind of does. Like when we did the Barstool Fund, and even like this pizza place, Manny's, I went before, like the whole family was working. It's like the dad, the wife, the daughter. I love businesses like that. I would love to do like a more detailed, like a half an hour show diving deep into like basically businesses that have been like generational. That I like doing that. It helps the people like watching it. So maybe some of that, maybe more of that is what I've thought.
It's crazy how much the pizza thing's taken off. Like knowing the story of like you and Dan got in an argument who can eat burritos or pizza longer, and then you've taken this thing and turned it into it's a monster.
People like pizza.
Like 2020, when all that like COVID shit was going down, we were putting things out. Like I felt like it was like twice a day.
COVID was big for me personally and big for the brand because we're internet people. But Caller Daddy happened during that, so that was a big part. The unboxing, which was unintentional, was fucking huge.
Trump,
that shit was funny as hell.
Trump, frozen pizza. So it was a lot of shit was happening, and the stocks, all of it. So I was waking up doing stocks, going to bed doing the unboxing, doing the frozen pizza in the middle. Yeah, it was, and people were trapped.
Yeah, and then all I had to do was consume exactly what Barstool is.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself always being in the content game? Like, do you ever get exhausted? Like, I mean, you do a lot of shit. When does it slow down for you, or when does it?
Well, I got the 2 more years, and then I don't know. People always get confused. Question you get, not just for me, but for like a lot of people who start businesses, they just assume like you'll have that itch, like you'll want to keep doing it. I do not think that's me. Like I could go on a beach or go on vacation and totally unplug and be done. Like that is something that Barstool people say I'm full of shit. Like that I have an ego that I need to like be out there. I disagree. Time will tell.
Yeah,
keep in mind, I didn't have my name out there in the beginning of Barstool. I had 5 aliases. It was like a business. It was never supposed to be me as a personality, but you just throw so much fucking shit against the wall. And what was sticking was anytime it became more personal, like me talking about like my life or whatever it is. And the same true for the other guys. That's what differentiated us. It was like people are interested in us, and you guys see it. They're interested in like your life, that's how.
Like how are you going to play into a little, like have fun with them, knowing you're going to piss people off, but everyone kind of knows
Right.
what's about to happen.
Yeah, right.
The inside joke of it.
Yeah. And even like, I posted a picture. So I built a big fucking house in Miami. It's not done,
I
but
saw
it's
that.
like they hung the TV like an asshole. It's like, it's crazy how they did it. I mean, it's literally crazy. So I posted that. It's like it was one of my bigger tweets in a while, but it is an asshole tweet, but it's like a joke, but it's an asshole tweet.
Yeah.
Now, to your point, if people can't see that I'm kind of joking, I'm not joking. That TV has to be
Right.
But I'm joking.
Pull that tweet up.
Yeah. Do you feel like in the beginning you were more into building the whole business thing than you were the content game, and it kind of just
They went hand in hand because the bigger my brand got, it helped everybody and vice versa. I mean, that's crazy.
It should be centered.
Centered.
Yeah.
and
At
the
first I was
flower
like,
and
hey,
the flowers.
The flowers, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
How many square feet is that house?
I'm not a square foot guy, but it's fucking huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Is it open? We're talking about open concept.
Yeah.
You can see
yeah.
from one side to the other.
Yep, pretty much. And if you just go through that wall, there's a little thing I call the ocean. Which is nice.
That's got to be a nice. That's outstanding.
This little thing I call the ocean.
The ocean. Do you? When is that going to be done?
So it should be done around April, March, depending. I don't know this wall thing, but yeah, it's been in the works for a long ass time.
Yeah.
It's been almost 2 years. They've been working
Yeah,
on
building houses suck.
it. Oh, it's the worst.
It is, and then you have a budget, and then that budget gets blown out of the water.
And you're basically held hostage. Because
Yeah,
like,
because
what are you
nothing
gonna
you
do?
can
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, fuck, you're out. It's like,
Yeah.
well, now I
Yeah.
just got an empty house.
And the thing that fucks me up too is I'll be like, hey, people who are doing the house, show me things that are in the budget I've told you to show me. And then they show me 3 things. Like, hey, you want to do, what color do you want the exterior of your house to be? And like, oh, this one, but then there's this one. And obviously I like that one the most.
Right.
Like, that was
That's
the
the
nicest
most
one.
expensive.
And like, oh, that's
Yeah.
$50,000 more
You know
than
I
your
wanted
budget.
you to keep me in budget.
Yes.
Like,
right.
what are you fucking
Why do I
doing?
got to see this? The minute I see this, obviously I got to have this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like,
it's crazy.
keep me ignorant.
Even the TVs at first, they were like, no, that's the design. I'm like, what do you mean that's the design? Luckily, I had the drawings, the renderings, and they were clearly centered. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is it's like nobody in the history of Earth has said, let's connect the TV to the corner of the wall.
Oh yeah, that's a tough look. So are they fixing that?
Yeah.
Are they charging you to fix it?
So I said, we have an architect and like builder, and they're arguing now on whose fault it was. But I'm like, this is not, luckily I have the designs.
Yeah.
Now, the problem clearly is like, all right, well, we won't charge you for that, but they may just build it in. You're fucked no matter what you do building a house. Like you're
Yes.
absolutely fucked.
A little thing I like to call the ocean. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
How do you think Barstool changes with the move to Chicago?
I mean, obviously there'll be different offices. I don't know the exact people going. Dan's Chicago. Dan's a workhorse. So I'm sure Chicago will be great, and Kevin will be in New York. There's still a ton of business people, but I don't think it'll change all that much. Probably me leaving almost is more of a change than like Dan bringing Chicago guys, because I'm like I'm the jerk. Like, and I mean that in a way that is like I stir the pot when I'm there. Like,
Right.
so
Content, you're
Yeah.
around, you're in the mix a lot.
and it's generally like creating like controversy out, like not, being the boss that's like, what'd you do that, bringing someone in. That doesn't happen as much if I'm not there anyways. So I think the content will be pretty similar with Dan taking his crew, because there's not as much of the Frank the Tank shit that he did the other day. That would have been a much bigger story probably if I was there. He went to the Dolphins game.
Yeah, and then he left
and then he
early.
left.
Yeah.
And like what had the potential to be an unbelievable ending, it didn't. But like that if I'm there, I would have harped on that for like a week, kind of dies down. So I don't think it'll change much.
Don't you feel like you being in the mix, people might be worried you being out of the mix too much, because you do help generate a lot of that content?
Yeah, but
I've
I've
been
been
have those like inside WWE
Yeah.
storylines within the building.
And I may bring people to Miami, but the bottom line is I don't love New York, and it's just too much fucking money to not be in Florida. It like the house that I'm building, I did the math basically. I'm like, all right, I signed a 5-year deal. And I'm like, at the end of 5 years, I can either be in New York and have the same amount of money, or in Florida and have the same amount of money, but this house. Like the house, that's the difference. It's like,
Made it.
it's basically a free house.
Hollywood Dave.
Well, no, it's taxes. It's
Miami Dave.
But
Yeah,
you made,
Miami.
You made it.
Like, oh, yeah.
You made it. You made it.
I'm like the 1% of the 1%.
I know, brother.
Yeah.
A lot of hard work.
When we first met you, you literally laughed out loud without even really knowing us yet. They go, "This is my new favorite game. Me having more money than football players. How much do you make?" And we,
Yeah,
were
I
like,
know.
we would answer, he'd be like, "I make more than you."
Yeah. Football, yes. Basketball, no. Those guys get paid like fucking crazy.
Ridiculous. What about football quarterbacks?
How much do they make?
I
For a
mean,
year, you're looking at 40 in the
Yeah,
40s?
so no, I don't have them beat. Because
Yeah.
if a great quarterback, I assume is playing long ass time at 40. Yeah, no.
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, 40 a year.
How much, like, when you started this and you realized there's going to be success, like, did you have a number like, I want this much money?
No, and I really didn't. I people think I'm bullshitting, but I would have been happy making 100 grand, waking up 60 grand, whatever, if I enjoyed what I was doing. It was not. Nobody in their right mind really could have thought Barstool would do what it did. That's not why I started it. Maybe why it's successful, to be honest. It wasn't. You see a lot of people who have these wild plans or business plans and they get funding. That's not ours. Was so organic, and it was never like to get to where it is now.
And the crazy ability to pivot, like
Yeah.
going from newspapers to the internet and then doing the internet the way you have.
And having just great people, because
Yeah.
as much as I do, you say like taking credit for everything. Like podcasts, I remember
No, I
being
didn't
like,
say that. I said it could be seen as that.
I said that.
I
He
thought
does the credit.
podcast was stupid. Like
Yeah.
Kevin started, I'm like, do it. I don't give a fuck. Like Dan PMT, that was all him. Like I didn't even know who PFT was. Like I met him. So we just have like $1 million worth of game. They came in through Roan. Like, so you guys came through Gaz, I think.
Yeah,
Gaz.
Gaz.
Yeah.
Gaz reached out to us.
Yeah. So we just have really good, like Gaz found Brianna Chicken Fry. Girl I used to know, was fucking Alex Cooper's boyfriend. That's how I knew who she was. So it's just, we had the right people in like the right spots to pivot quick. And we don't, maybe the better answer is we don't tell people what to do. Like you guys know that firsthand. We are very hands off. So creative people are allowed to be creative. And that actually, while it sounds simple, I don't think happens a ton of other places. And that's why $1 million worth of games, like we want to stay with you because you never interfere or say do this. It's just like, go be you. If it works, great. If it doesn't, that's because people don't like you.
Yeah, but then there's a level of relying on people to actually put the work in.
Yeah.
Because people think you just get a bunch of mics and you talk like, oh, we're gonna be making money now. But if there's a level of consistency you have to bring to the game every single day.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, I think that's what, with you two, hopefully this isn't taken as disrespectful to Will, but you being on the outs in the NFL allowed somebody to be like 24/7 thinking this show and this concept. Without that, like if you guys were both on the same level in the NFL, I think it gets way harder for us to be interested in that because there's so much going on outside. You need somebody who looks at it at exactly what you said. It's not just wake up, mics go on, because it's not.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you feel about that comment?
I still played 3 years while doing this, but
That was meant to be a compliment.
just kidding.
That was
No,
meant-
no,
I-
no,
I-
that is
I-
no
I-
comment.
I-
Fucking
him.
And Will did, like I say it all the time, Will is the backbone of this whole thing. Like he sat me down at a Chinese restaurant and was like, I want to do a podcast. Will you do it with me? And I was like, yeah, I guess. And then I left for 3 months to go train for football.
Right.
While Will's like literally putting things in place, doing meetings with production guys and getting all that thing put together. The only thing I really contributed was his bus and like my technical name I had in the
you still have a
NFL.
personality. It's not like
That's what
Yeah,
I
well,
was
no,
gonna
no,
say.
yeah, I get what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, you guys have the chemistry, but there's plenty of, there isn't. That's extremely difficult, but it's very hard to find the chemistry with then the desire to do it. Like I remember what sold me the first time we met $1 million worth of game was listening to Wallow talk about how he made money when he got out of jail. He's like, I was just selling t-shirts on this corner, like street corners. Like that's somebody who's gonna fucking go bananas
Grind.
for this, right?
Yeah.
And he's just talking about how content changed, all that shit. So that's those two factors. If you find, same with Alex Cooper, when she came in, she had a sizzle reel, and I was like, "Who made this for you?" She's like, "I learned how to do it myself. Like I learned all the different editing." I was sold then. Like, who knows if it works, but finding the combo of the people who have the talent, like they're charismatic, you see it, but then no, like this doesn't, you need a lot more than just that. You need both. You got to work hard and be, so I guess it's kind of like sports in that regard. You need both. You need the talent, but that's not enough.
right.
Vice versa.
'Cause we'll see other players like do stuff and it's like quick to think like, yeah, they're going with a network. A network has reached out to them to like do something, so they're putting everything together. Not like all this stuff. It came from a notebook. We're in a garage, or not a garage. We're in the gravel parking lot. Like I remember in my notebook, like
Sweating our asses off.
2017, I wrote it when I was on Washington. It was like be one of the first NFL players / coaches, because I wanted to coach at the time, with like a podcast that hit 1 million downloads.
Yep.
That was like what was written in the thing. And then we get the podcast going. Like when I kind of thought that could have been my last year, like being on the outs. But yeah, man, it's building the business inside of it is a different ball game than a lot of people understand.
Yeah.
It's the consistency.
It's funny how goals change too.
Correct.
Like our goal.
I'm still like, I have that sheet of paper where it says with 1 million downloads.
Yeah.
And it's just like, now you look at everything that's going on, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking nearly as big as I thought I was.
Yeah.
But that is the consistent thread. And it's the consistent thread with almost everybody successful from that world that we've hired. McAfee was the same way. I mean, he turned down the contract. He was like maniacal. He knew what he wanted to do. Biz, like, I've been on phone calls just like tell him to shut the fuck up. Literally, like, you shut the fuck up. I'm sick of hearing, because he wants so much. And that's good though. It's like, at the end, it's like, I like that. It's like, I'd rather have those conversations where I'm screaming at somebody. It's like, just like you're being unreasonable because he wants more. And I don't mean like money. He's like upset, like that things aren't going exactly how he wants, but it's because he wants to be bigger, And I always say that with Gaz, who's in the worst spot for our social media. Like, I want everybody arguing with you that you're not promoting them enough. That's good. Like, if someone doesn't give a fuck, that's probably bad. Like, who doesn't want promo from the thing? He's going to spread it out. So that's kind of a common consistency of the successful people we've had. They're all just, they view it very seriously as a job. And like what you said, now you're seeing how people do. I mean, we mentioned them a ton, but you go back and it could be somebody like you never know, but you go back and it's like everyone, when McAfee didn't take the field goal or the kicking job, they're like, you're crazy. You turned down like what, $3 million a year? Like, what are you, nuts? Well,
coming off a Pro Bowl year, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Walked away
on
8 years.
And it's like the best decision he's ever made, right? So
Yeah.
There's a lot of money there. But then we've had other people where it just hasn't worked. Like, where they think it's just another thing to add. And whatever, some work, some don't.
What's the example you're thinking of?
Well, I'm trying to think whether I should say it. Well, I know we had with the basketball player didn't work. As Scary Terry Rozier didn't work at all.
The dinger guy. Who was the dinger guy? I think you brought him up before.
Yeah,
when he
didn't work.
Yeah. He was a hepatitis. The
talented.
guy that would like hit dingers. The hepatitis. See you later.
Yeah. What's his name?
Dude, he was funny as shit.
He was.
Yes. His
Work
shit
ethic
was
of
so
an
much.
ant.
He did a whole tutorial on how to
ethic of
bun.
an ant?
And he just hit another dinger. He's like, fuck that, Chucky.
He's somebody who had the talent side, but not the desire side. And it is harder when you're not in our office. Like, you almost have to be like doubly, triply like committed to it.
Did you find him?
Yeah, type dinger, Barstool guy, but
That would have been the right words.
That would have been the right words. Yeah, I thought his stuff was funny. I always wondered
He's
what kind of
still
happened
funny.
to him.
He's still on the internet. He was very funny.
Mhm.
What the hell is his name? No, not Clint. And I like him. And people still make jokes about him. They're Ken Murphy.
Yeah.
Very, very fucking funny.
His shit was hilarious.
But it's also one of those things which we haven't. He's in character there.
Yeah.
So like, we're not characters. Like,
Right.
you can do like a character, but like, we're not characters. We're ourselves. So
Yeah.
he never. This super successful. He had it, but he never like got. That's not him. He's playing somebody else.
He's playing somebody. But so does Caleb. Caleb plays. He's still
On the
Caleb
Sunday
Pressley.
Conversation.
On Sunday Conversations, he sits and does.
Yeah. But that is like, he's done a lot more with us, like where he's also North. Some people may just know him as that,
Yeah.
but I think the Barstool world knows him as Caleb.
Yeah. He's fun to be around, man. That guy is awesome.
You guys are like best buddies.
Yeah, we got a little.
He's
got a little
great.
Beast crew.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
great.
Shout out Jeff as well.
It would have been nice to have you because we did.
He
We
was a tough recruiting guy.
What do you mean?
I recruited the fuck out of Caleb. He's like the only guy I recruited.
really?
Really?
No, off the top, yeah. So he was.
How'd you find him?
He was the professor of morale. North Carolina, running down. He wasn't uniform.
The professor of morale.
Yeah.
He was. That was his coin term in the football. He was like
He was
an
on
assistant on the
ESPN.
football team. He was
Yeah.
the director of morale for the team,
Yeah.
and he'd be on the sidelines every game with like a jersey on and stuff like that.
Oh, that's
He'd
so funny.
wear like the jersey of an NFL guy from North Carolina.
Yeah.
He'd be running up down the sidelines. Like, who the fuck is this person? Like the long blonde hair. So we had him on our rundown, our daily show, the next day after one of the ESPN, and he was good. He was interesting. And then, so we went, he flew down to Boston. I remember we went out, and it's like the Gronks were out. It was when he was there. We were partying with like Gronks. He's like, oh, this is fucking cool. He said, no. He's like, I forget why he said no originally.
What did you offer him to be?
Job.
Just a job.
Yeah. And I think he thought he had to write because at the time we were primarily still writing, not as much video.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to write. So no. And then it came back. It's like, you can do whatever you want. Like, we really don't tell people what to do. So if you want to make video, make video. Like, I don't know what you'll want to do or what you'll be good at or what interests you. And then we got him, and he's done a bunch of things. And that's the thing about Barstool, too. He did a bunch of podcasts. None of them really did spectacularly well or anything like that. He was on Barstool Radio with me a little bit, and then he was always good with the man on the street, always very good with that. And then he found his niche with the Sunday Conversations.
Dude, it is so funny. He is.
I know,
He's very funny.
He's good. He's good people.
Oh, you got AC in this bus? No,
What's that?
AC? No,
No, it's
No,
outside,
with
it's
it-
in the building.
Got it.
Yeah, which is a
You need
huge,
to turn
it's
it
a
up a
huge
little
plus
bit?
for us.
no. I wouldn't mind water though. Do you guys?
Isn't
know
our
water?
situation a
Yeah,
little bit
water?
better than the last one you were
There
in?
might be one right by your feet.
No. Thank you.
Can we get a water for the head man?
I appreciate it.
Hey, shout out the boys pulling off that label too. That's outstanding.
Yeah,
Great,
no free
great work.
shout-outs.
No free shout outs.
Really?
Yeah.
You have a water sponsor?
We don't. This company sent us a bunch of waters, and like for 10 episodes, let's say.
Well, we
were
do,
drinking-
we do a lot with them.
Oh, you do?
Barstool sent a lot.
Audio
us.
Armor, yeah.
Yeah.
If they- well, hold on.
Yeah, send us
Bleep
all the
that.
water.
Bleep that. No
I
free
thought they
shout outs.
sponsor the whole company.
I think they just sent us water, and the water's fantastic. But if they want to do something, we would love to do something.
I used to be the guy I know very well, the guy who he sold it, but he's a genius. He's
Yeah.
our vitamin water and body oil, big horse guy. Mike Rapoli, shout out.
Geniuses, give me your impression of Joe Rogan, because Will and I we found our love in podcasts talking about Joe Rogan.
So I was never a huge Rogan fan. Like, I haven't listened to a ton of his episodes. Super down to earth and easy to talk to. His studio's amazing. I'm not an MMA guy, so a lot of that podcast we did MMA, I'm not super deep. Yeah, I don't know. He's just a guy's guy. Like, you guys, I said to you, I think his studio seems like right up your alley, maybe yours as much. I just haven't talked to you as much about like working out, staying in shape, all that. He's always says it, but like he's got the water deprivation tank in there.
Yeah,
He's got
Yeah, you'd be into it. Probably.
yeah.
bow and arrow like thing where you can
An
shoot.
archery range.
Archery range. The weight room literally looks like it could be a college football team. It's fucking huge.
That's all time.
Yeah, it's huge for like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
You know,
When
How'd
did
you like
you?
the episode?
how did I like it?
Yeah.
I thought it was easy. Like, it's a good conversation. Studio's sick. It just kind of takes you. I don't smoke cigars, so it's borderline like high just from smoking that one. But it was easy. He's easy to talk to. I didn't walk out being like that's the greatest thing of all time, because I knew there was a lot of MMA talk, and that was the one complaint. But then I also it's weird. It's with anything. People either loved it or they didn't like it at all. I didn't get very much down the middle. And he's so big. He really is so big. Like, just walking down the street, people show us like, hey, I'm listening to the Rogan thing, you know?
Yeah.
But I liked him. I don't know.
Would you do it again?
Absolutely. Even if I didn't like him, I'd do it
Yeah.
again. How could you say no to that?
Right.
platform?
How did it all like work out? Like, how did you guys get connected and going on that episode?
So, I met him for the first time at UFC New York, but quickly, the New York Times article came
Yeah.
out, and I posted, because in the New York Times recent one on me, the reporter said we reached out to Dave for comment and he wouldn't answer the questions. I posted an exchange with the reporter from like 7 months ago, being like, I'll sit down with you. I'll answer anything you have. And she kept saying, I'm eager to talk to you. And then 2 weeks would go by. I wouldn't hear from her. I go, hey, I'm willing to talk down to speak with you. Like,
Receipts.
yep, like cameras. You can bring any camera you want, audio. I just want to be able to do it too. So I have it. She's like, I'm eager to do it. Didn't reach out till 2 days before the article dropped. So 7 months passed. I was like, fuck no, you've written the whole article. All these bullet points are all like, there's no way for me to answer them. They're like, hey, Dave, you're the devil, right? Any comment? Like those, like, all right, how do I fucking, how do you deal with that?
Yeah.
So I posted the exchange. He reached out. He's like, I saw the New York Times thing. They're the worst. Like, you want to come on the podcast? So I actually tweeted this the other day. Emily Steele tipped my cap. Like the New York Times reporter, I have her to thank for going on Rogan and making, because Barstool's big, Rogan's fucking huge. A lot of people probably didn't know who I was until that episode. So help me help Barstool. So thank you.
What do you have any idea the downloads he gets?
No, I think I've heard
It was
they're
number one 3 weeks in a row. It's got to be.
And while I do love taking credit, he has a lot of his episodes go to one. I don't know if they stay as long as that or all of them, but he's a monster. I don't think there's anything remotely in his stratosphere for podcasts.
Yeah, no, he's
insane, man. But he's been there
so
since
massive.
the beginning.
Yeah.
He's doing webcam.
A lot of similarities between him and us in terms of, because there's quotes and things he said where if you heard them in isolation and you didn't know anything, you'd be like, that guy's a jerk.
Yeah.
But similar to us, it's like his people have been with him for 10 years, 15 years. They know. It's like our people, it's like if you hear a quote of me, it's like, yeah, but
Hang on. I'll intervene on that one.
Okay.
Rogan he did a little selfie video with a lot of apology, accountability, awareness in it all. Yeah. When they did that little, I want to say you sat in on one of their, you sat in and wanted to do an interview with them, the guys who make the burners and make stuff go viral or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like when that stuff was coming out on Rogan and they were trying to, cancel him, stuff like that.
Yeah, they had like a 7-minute clip of him just saying like the N-word or something
Right,
like
saying
that.
a lot of stuff way back in the day. But Rogan picks up his phone and does I guess the way I would explain it is he handles it in like a parent, like an adult.
Yeah.
Not saying you're not an adult, but that's when you lean into, let me fucking, I'm going to stand 10 toes down, sort of apologize, but not really.
Right. Like I understand I did something wrong, but listen, I am who I am.
Correct.
Which both are
I'd have
very
to
good
hear
ways
the
of going about stuff.
individual quotes. Like, this is gonna sound. If I thought I did something wrong or out of hate, I would apologize. I don't.
That's what I'm saying. But you're thinking, if you think you did something wrong, that's where I feel like the difference is. I'm not saying either one of them's right, wrong, and different.
Yeah.
I'm explaining where the difference is when Rogan, when that was going on in Rogan, he handles it in a way of I don't know, I guess appeasing to the masses. I know he's not doing it. He's just saying I said some things. I'm sorry. This is not I'm different, blah, 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 stuff like that. Not bending the knee.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that.
You're not a bend the knee. You're I'm not going to fucking bend the knee.
If
this is not an indictment on the way you handle things.
Yeah,
This-
no,
this
I'm
is just
saying,
looking at the two different things.
Yeah, and I don't know what the video or what he exactly said or apologized for. You're not finding us that example, like the N-word thing. You're not your clips of me doing that's going to be 1 second.
Yeah.
It's not
The rap lyric.
yeah.
Right.
I don't.
You're saying he had more. There's more
saying
stuff.
what
so-
that.
It might have not been 7 minutes. It might have been a 2-minute and 30-second
Right,
video.
some
Yeah.
video of
him
some
saying
weird
the same,
conversations. he
kind of the
had.
same context. Like he's saying what somebody said, and he's like,
Right.
he said this to me.
Yeah,
you know,
right,
that
right.
that
And
type
he's
of
doing
thing.
a selfie video of with the humility, trying to show growth that he's had, talking about how he was different back in the day.
Yeah, everyone definitely handles it differently. Maybe that is the I don't. One of the things on my Twitter, for example, a lot of people didn't like us. They deleted their Twitters. They during all of this shit,
Mhm.
just erase it. I didn't.
Yeah.
I know what I say and what I don't say. Even when it was when we got in the Sam Ponder shit.
Go back. I want to see
Dan
that.
and I were talking about we got in a lot of shit, and she said,
Joe Rogan gets 200 million downloads each month,
That's estimated.
estimated. I mean, he's number one in 98 countries.
"Yeah, it's insane."
Insane.
Yeah, that's
Insane. But I started to interrupt you. Keep going.
I know what I've said, so I remember she said I wish that her unborn son was aborted. That's not true. I never said that.
Mhm.
Then there was something else that was vicious that I forget the term, but I'm I definitely said that because I know how I use the same words over and over. That's just the other one won't come from my mouth. certain words I know. I don't know. It's I've been doing it for 20 years. So I do think if I thought I did something really bad or mean or hateful, I would apologize. Things have changed. Things just change over the internet.
You did have a conversation though. You've seen Sam Ponder since.
Yeah, I respect
Remember
the
when
fuck
you
out of her.
Yeah. Remember when you texted? I think Colt McCoy might have texted me.
He was there at the
He says,
restaurant.
hey, if you talk with Dave, if you don't mind shooting a message to Dave, it was like the night before a game.
Yeah.
And saying like, apologizes
Sam
for anything. 'Cause
Ponder-
it took like they had some long conversation.
Sam Ponder went way up in my book on that. Like, so we got in trouble for talking about her when Barstool was still relatively small. She was doing College Game Day. Me and Dan went on a rant. Like, nobody wants to see your fucking baby on College Game Day. These are all like horny guys who want you to slut it up. Like, that is essentially what we said.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll
Came back. We didn't.
Yeah, that'll ruffle.
But
some
it's like
feathers.
one of those things you say to your buddies basically at the time, like, meaning we weren't that big. Like, we were shooting the shit, and I think 3, 4, 5 years passed.
Mhm.
So that was
the degenerate years.
yeah, and that was.
Yeah, but it's also like that's way back in the memory. Like,
Right.
yeah, you're not gonna.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if someone's like, "Did you say that?" I'd be like, "No." Like, I don't know. Did I? I don't remember.
Right.
Now, if you told me, do I think most people watching College Game Day are young guys and want to see pretty girls and not a baby? Yeah, I will maintain that take. Would I say that in the way I did? Probably not. Fine.
See, that's it.
That's a perfect
That's a great example
Perfect
right
example.
of how
of comparing the Joe Rogan, Dave Portnoy, the way they handle certain
Right.
things.
Like, I still have the same idea.
Yeah.
The way I would have said it is probably different now.
Yeah. Would I
I'm
probably
saying as
you
Dave
say
or Rogan? Was I just Dave or Rogan?
You say no. You're
You were
Dave.
Dave.
You're Dave.
You were Dave.
And you go, should I have this? Probably.
Yeah.
That's not a.
If you would have said, I completely understand why she came at me. I probably shouldn't have done that, and I'll make sure to do better
I
next
shouldn't have
time.
done that.
Correct.
Yeah, like, I
Yeah.
shouldn't have done
Well,
that.
I guess
And that's on me.
I guess
That's on me. That's
I
my
guess
bad.
This is where Dave is Dave because I know for a fact I'm correct. Like, people watch College Game Day.
Should I?
Most of the men
Probably.
are men, and most are interested in seeing very attractive women. They don't want to see the attractive woman's baby. That's a fact. That's a
If you polled, yeah, I'm
but
sure
you can say it in a way that she could start slutting up. Don't say it that way. That was a bad way to say it. Maybe I won't say it all, but am I right about the thought
You said
process?
maybe there it goes again. Maybe I
all
would
right,
say
we're
it
gonna
all.
go down this. Why are
That's
most
on my- that's my
most
bad. I apologize for
sideline
saying the slut thing.
reporters attractive? Is that just the biggest coincidence in the history of the world?
No. That's not. I don't think.
Exactly. Everyone's moving their seats.
Yeah, I was like, damn. Why is that?
Anyways, I said
You
that.
should just get like an unattractive girl. Like one company needs to be like, see,
Yeah, and I mean there are some. And listen, P.S. I think Doris Burke. She's not sideline play-by-play. I fucking love her. I said at one point I put her on the $1 bill or something when they were talking about putting a woman on the $1 bill. But what that thought that Dan and I had just ranting, and it wasn't prefaced. I forget how it came out, but we talked about it. She comes back when Barstool Van Talk gets on ESPN, and we didn't even. Again, it was so far in the past. If you asked me, does Sam Ponder have beef with you? I'd be like, no. Like, I've never even Sam Ponder. I've never said anything about her. Clearly, they had the receipts. I
They
saw
came correct.
it always goes back to receipts.
Yeah.
you know who that piece of shit, Nick Khan, too, is responsible for that. He's the guy who runs WWE. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, then he got
He's
fired
a
from ESPN
fucking-
for like cocaine or something
No,
like
that's
that.
John Skipper, also
Yes.
a piece of shit. Nick Khan is the CEO of, or not, maybe CEO of WWE, and he was Sam Ponder's agent. He also, probably a month prior, I had met with him. He kissed my ass about how much he fucking loved Barstool. He was the one who ratted us out to ESPN. Then this fucking guy has the balls. After the Sam Ponder shit happened, like 2 months later, there was a fight at Madison Square Garden and invited me to be his guest to sit next to him. I wrote back, I go, do you not think I know what happened to Sam Ponder? Do you always invite like people who fucking hate you to sit next to you? And it's like, whoa, I don't know if that was me. It was fucking you, piece of shit. Anyway, Sam Ponder, I do respect. Sam Ponder, Catch, New York, steakhouse. I was on a date, walking out. This blonde woman who I did not recognize at first, I think she was wearing a hat, nose to nose. Like, do you recognize me? It's like, no, actually, I don't. She's like, really? I really didn't recognize her. I'm like,
On
no.
a date too. That's got to be tough for the date.
Girl didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Well, she walked away.
She's
She's
probably thinking,
Yeah.
oh, they're like
History.
married or like he has his girlfriend or something. Like, oh, fuck.
And she's like, I'm Sam Ponder. I was like, oh, and we just got into it. I respect her for getting in my face. I'd much rather that. You have a problem, come at me.
She was coming at you
Yeah.
like aggressively.
Yes.
How did it end?
Civilly.
That's all you can ask
I
for.
think we both kind of were like, okay. I respected it. Now there is,
You think she has a different opinion of you walking out of there?
I don't know,
Should we call
maybe. Do you know her?
No,
Maybe.
I don't know her.
There's other parts now because part of my take and Dan and PFT were very much involved in all of that because their show got canceled. And they, I believe, had some interactions with her that they don't think add up. Like, I think they want to talk to her, sit down, and she didn't want any part of it. At least that's how it goes. But for her with me, and a lot of times I've said this, when people throw the first punch at me, I have no sympathy for you generally. Like, and I ignore it a lot. But if you keep coming at me and then I come after you, don't cry to me. We threw the first punch at her. Like, she was minding her own business. It wasn't personal what we were talking about, but it can certainly come across as personal. So I never have had a problem. Of all the people I've had beefs with, I don't even, we said shit about her that she had every right to be mad about, and she held a grudge. I hold grudges, and she fucking hit us over the head with a steel chair with it when we were least expecting. That's essentially what happened. It may have benefited us in the long run, because God knows what happens if those two guys went to ESPN and were successful. Barstool's probably in a different place, so I think it worked out. But yeah, I got no Sam Ponder beef anymore.
Pondies.
Yeah. You said they go to ESPN. You talk about PFT and Big Cat?
Yeah,
Yeah, because they did the van talk.
yeah, they were test driving them, I think
Yeah.
is what they were doing, because they had exploded. Part of my take was huge. They're both under contract. And they basically, Dan has been with us forever. So if Dan wants to do something, he gets to do it. That's the loyalty and credit he's earned and deserved. And he really wanted to do this. I was never comfortable with this. He knows that. Like, whenever I was in the meeting in these, I felt like they didn't like me. They didn't like Barstool.
Yeah.
And it was, I think they were really just test driving it. Like, if this show works, we'll make them an offer that at the time we couldn't compete with, and I was very worried about that. Never had to worry much longer because they did one episode and all hell broke loose. And John Skipper, now he was the CEO of ESPN. He didn't tell us they were canceling the show. We read a press release that said he did not know Barstool Van Talk would be associated with Barstool Sports. The name of the show was Barstool Van Talk. And then 2 weeks later, he got extorted by his Coke dealer. That was the story. And he resigned.
They only bought it one time, right?
Yep. I had already gotten a champagne bottle engraved with his name on it, and we popped it on like the rundown.
Was that the fastest champagne pop?
Fastest, yeah.
By far.
Yeah, that was like God touching me on the shoulder, being like, I got you.
I got you on this
Yeah,
one.
like 2 weeks after. I mean, come on.
So when ESPN was negotiating with PFT and Big Cat, did you openly come to them and say, hey, this is how I feel? I feel like this is, I'm not comfortable.
No.
The reason why I asked that is
We were in an uncomfortable spot a little bit with Dan and PFT at the time in general. I think Dan's contract was kind of coming up or something. There was a lot going on, but it was that was probably the rockiest our relationship, Dan and I's, had been. And PFT was still relatively sort of new. Like, he didn't have the 10-year back story. So no, but I think he knew. Erica certainly knew. And they just, it was like I'd walk in a room, like, you're walking in the room. Like,
oh, for real?
Yeah, it was a bad vibe type.
And so, but you guys obviously squashed that. When you went to interview Trump, Dan had like a big release, like, we don't do this.
Real touchy time just in America in general.
Everybody hated Trump, or people were very loud about hating Trump.
Yeah, that was bad too. That was faster. That was like a single incident. He was definitely upset about that. And I get that. That's a tough situation because it goes again for Barstool, which I don't know if it happens everywhere, which I think he rightfully kind of felt. It's like, well, people view him as Barstool. They certainly view me. So it's like, if I'm interviewing Trump, and he has strong feelings, it's on him. He has to answer for what I'm doing. I feel differently about that. Like I've said that if the sitting president, asked me to go interview him, I'm going to do it. Now, part of me a little bit, it's like if I ask Dan and he's going to say no, maybe it helps him. But then it's like, well, what am I just going to not? Like I knew I was doing it
regardless.
Right.
Right.
Like I went to even my dad, who nobody hates Trump more than him. My dad hates. He's like, you got to do it. Like it's the president. You have to do
really?
it. Yeah. Yeah.
You
so,
said he puckered up.
Oh no,
too.
wait. That was after. I didn't ask him.
Yeah, because you
he
said
didn't know.
you said you called him. You
I
FaceTimed with
him
him
after. I asked like my mom, and people I trusted around. I had to do it. It's
But Dan had a good point in his little like press conference that he did for it, was that Barstool is a comedy type of entertainment media. The minute you involve politics, like now the line is skewed.
Totally.
How did you feel? Like, do you agree with that statement? Because technically, if we look at it right now, nothing's really changed other than your brand got bigger from that whole thing. I don't feel like Barstool is viewed any differently from a political standpoint. It's
No,
kinda
I mean,
still, like,
obviously,
viewed as
I do
entertainment.
political. Well, like I go on Fox News, that's certainly viewed as political, even though I don't really talk politics when I go on. But people really hate Tucker or love Tucker. Yeah, I don't, and people may not believe this. I really think it's good for the brand to do that because the audience is fucking huge.
Yeah.
It like exposes us to people who may not be exposed, and they find different, they may listen to you guys are part of my take or whoever and find something they like. So I do think it's good. And I'm all about, it's almost like what you said about the Rogan. Like, would you go on Rogan? Yeah, of course. It's such a big fucking platform. But Dan also does have a point. It's like, I don't want Barstool to be political. I don't. Yet I'll go interview the president of the United States. How can you say no? Yeah. Like, how can you say no to that? It is such a huge fucking platform. And to be honest, I guess we've tried to do politics. Like we had Hard Factor. I just don't want people to say they're left or they're right all the time or anything. And I don't think we are. Like you're allowed to be even I think I'm misconstrued on how people think I feel because I don't think I'm left or right. Some issues I'm one or the other. In that interview with Trump, I don't think it was overly like one way or the other. So it is a delicate slope though.
You should go interview Biden now.
We offered.
Then all of a sudden
we did. We offered.
They said no.
That was literally the first thing we did when Trump asked, let's go offer the same invite to him, and they didn't do it. So I mean, yeah, that was literally the first thing we did.
I wonder why they wouldn't do it.
It's almost like you see it too, like audience, like growing audience.
I've said this a million times, the old Jordan quote, like I sell sneakers to red states and blue states. I sell t-shirts to red states and blue states. We do.
Yeah.
Like there's bad on both side extremes. There are. And, I have, but I'm in the street and I can tell like the people who come up, a lot of them are like, hey, love you on Tucker, love you on this. And it's like, yeah, they may construe what, like Barstool, we get it with both. We fucking get it on both. Like when I say a political stance, which I don't like doing because it causes like fucking chaos, people who have supported me or think they support my political views for 2 years, if I say one thing they disagree with, suddenly they hate me. They're like, you're the fucking worst. It's like, you just,
I thought I fucking liked you, but now not
yeah,
anymore.
right. Because I disagree with you on like one thing. It's like, what are you
Yeah.
fucking talking about? So it is what it is. But I get it. We've always said we don't want to do politics, but I've done politics. Yeah.
But you're the boss. You do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emergency press conferences.
Yeah. I mean, I overall think it does help just make Barstool more prevalent everywhere. It obviously can cause some problems, but at the same time, like it just draws eyeballs
Right.
to the
You're in
overall
the game to
brand,
grow audiences
Yeah.
for the brand as
which
a whole.
is what we're
Yeah.
doing.
How do you continue to do that? Like beyond all this stuff, like as you kind of do a little bit less, or guys are moving to Chicago, like
Yeah,
how
you
does
just gotta
Barstool
keep finding great
continue?
talent? You just gotta keep finding great talent because not upon like, if you look at, let's say you guys or me just sitting here, or PMT or $1 million worth of game or Brianna Chicken Fry, just find people And if they're great at what they're doing, like as you guys are building audience, you're building audience for us. Like not to suck both your dicks, but like coming on this for me is good because probably there's a good portion of your audience who they obviously know me at some point, but they may not know me that well.
Right.
So it's like, oh, this guy's not bad. We like, so every time a brand, Foreplay, whoever is growing audience, it helps everybody because then you start mixing in and interacting like you with the case race or whatever it may be. It just helps grow and rising tides, all ships. That's kind of how Barstool is.
Mhm.
It just get as much cross-pollination and everybody's kind of doing their thing and growing it. And you find new people and they're growing it. It's like the perfect example is the TikTok shit, which I still get people busting my balls. Like, why are you doing a fucking podcast with a 19-year-old, 20? Austin's with me. It's what that or pizza is what I get known for. Like if I walk around like anyone under 21, they all know who I am because of TikTok. Like you're on the BFFs. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I can walk into a hotel, like a 13-year-old girl will be like BFFs, BSS. It just reached a whole new audience. And then maybe they start getting into the other stuff. So
With that age gap between you and him, like, is there a lot of common ground you guys can find? Are you guys like friends? Like, do you guys
like we don't
like? He's like what, 20 years old? How old is he?
Oh my god, you guys play video games together?
no, we
Yeah.
don't play video.
You guys don't play video
Are we
games.
talking like
I'm saying like outside of the pod.
no?
You guys are not
We're
like
not
you guys,
friends.
yeah, you guys. But like, is there a common ground where you guys are like, you guys are different generations?
Correct.
Like, how does that gel between you guys outside of this
It
podcast?
doesn't. Like, I mean, again, I'll be friendly with him. If I'm in his city, would I be like, hey, I'm going out? No, I don't go out. And I think it's weird for me to go out with like, a 19, 20-year-old. He's
Yeah.
So, but he's actually a great guy. Like I like him. And if I was younger, I'd probably be friends with him. But no, we're not. I barely go out even with the guys like my age or I'm friends with. But no,
But you want to bust
I
our
don't-
balls about dinner.
I don't, well, that's
That's a
dinner.
good
I'm a
point,
dinner
Will.
guy.
All
That's a
I'm
good
learning
point.
I'm a
right
dinner
now
guy.
is we can be better friends than what we are.
I'm a
And I
dinner
think we
guy.
all
The-
three,
the
I
three
think
of
we
us.
all three kind of crave.
I
to
feel like
have a
the
little bit more
fastest
camaraderie.
way for us all to be better friends is Dave following you back on Twitter.
He has.
It's happened.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it happened.
Then we've taken the steps we need to
I
take.
haven't followed you, I don't think.
I know. And listen, I feel
It's
like
baby steps.
I'm like I'm working on 90-day rocks right now. Like I'm like slowly like I'm checking in with myself and seeing we can make that happen.
It took a while. We'd be all throughout the college football year, and he's always fucking trolling me on like the
Well,
Nebraska.
Oh, and I thought it was
And
so
I'm like, man, why
funny.
is it- This
'Cause I would
motherfucker's
see you
always
tweet at
tweeting me,
him.
and then he's not following.
Yeah, I didn't know I didn't follow you. Honest.
That's hilarious.
Honest. That's something I'm bad at. Half the time I don't know. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know till it was mentioned. I'm like, oh, fall, that wasn't some weirdo. I didn't know.
I thought it was like a big
No,
power move.
like power. No.
Yeah. I thought it was
This
hilarious.
was a good negotiation tactic.
Yeah, no, I honestly did not know.
That's funny.
How'd you enjoy our negotiation?
I can't remember what we were arguing about.
We were arguing about gambling. Gambling was the entire reason the extension started to happen anyway.
But there was what was the one? Well, yes, I knew that
you
we
guys-
didn't want to promote you gambling, and then
you
you
guys
have
were-
bounced in like 4 days. It's
That's
like,
you were hard, yeah, like as you should have been. Like you were hard pressed. Oh, we're just gonna promote, and you're just gonna dip and bounce and leave us.
correct.
Because it was, hey, let's get a deal done by football season, or we'll shelf it and not talk until after the year's over.
Correct.
Because you're like, we have control now. We won't have control once the Penn acquisition hits.
Yes, correct. That too. That it was the combo of things. Like so, basically, for
You
the
guys
people
gotta
who
play
don't
the
know,
game. Like Erica's,
Yeah.
she's
well,
great.
well,
Like,
killer.
fuck, yeah,
it
she's
was a
killer.
no-brainer.
She's a
So
killer.
your contract was up like
Now, February,
correct,
Super Bowl.
right
It would be-
after
yes.
football. So we didn't really know where you guys were at.
We interrupt this episode to bring you Blue Nile. Valentine's Day is coming up, which means romance is in the air more than usual. Whether you're celebrating this day of romance or whether you're ready to pop the question, you can find jewelry as unique as she is with modern convenience of online shopping at BlueNile.com. Their simple online tools let you choose the diamond shape, size, and clarity, as well as the setting style. Blue Nile's bench jewelers will then handcraft that perfect piece to your specifications. Blue Nile provides expert guidance, in-depth educational materials, and unique online tools that place you in control. So you can forget the usual hassles of the jewelry shopping process and focus on the romance. Every order is insured and arrives quickly in a discreet package. Every order is insured and arrives quickly in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shipping is free and so are returns. Not only is this stuff affordable, I go to Blue Nile all the time, get my wife a little something, whether it's Valentine's Day, whether it's her birthday, anniversary, something. Maybe it's just a special Wednesday and I want to get her something nice because I love her that much. That's what I do. Right now, you can save up to 50% at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com for 50% off. BlueNile.com. And with that being said, back to this episode.
To bring it back in, you ended up talking with me.
Correct.
You guys were 2-on-1ing on me.
No, you guys got a great deal. You were trying to negotiate fucking him to get a gambling deal. He'd be kicked out of the NFL.
Not a gambling
It's not
deal.
like I get-
Equity.
You want
Equity.
Ben, like, this guy can't even
I
play.
couldn't even get in. We had to learn the hard way on that.
Yeah.
We
I
did
mean,
have to
really,
learn
the only
hard
person
way
that
on
learned the hard way was you with year 10.
No, I know. I'm just saying, learn like trying to make it all
know.
happen, like
I
make
know.
everything fucking happen. Because everybody was trying to. Paul, everybody at Barstool, everybody was on board to make year 10 happen. Hey, what in the fuck do we have to do?
Yeah.
And ultimately, it was like the dead end was you have to separate not only from the Barstool deal, but also Bussin, like Bussin LLC.
So what? Like, you are Bussin. You're with Barstool. Why are you allowed in the NFL?
I don't know. It's weird. One of our first 20 episodes was with Mike Vrabel. We've had Arthur Smith on this podcast on 2 separate occasions, right? I don't know. It was kind of one of those things where it was a new space and we were the first ones doing it.
Yeah.
And Barstool wasn't gambling yet, or you guys were gambling, but you guys weren't acquired by Penn or anything like that.
What changes?
I
Like,
personally-
why?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
I personally just feel like, and maybe not, maybe that's just me thinking bigger than what it was, but just making it hard because it was like a Barstool affiliate.
A Barstool affiliate and gambling was not negotiated in the CBA. So it's such a gray area that they don't know.
Right, but
Like, they basically try to make an example out of Will.
well, even the gambling thing was,
I mean, they
We-
did freak out on that guy who got suspended for doing like a parlay.
yeah, Calvin,
Calvin
Ridley.
Ridley.
Yeah.
Free Calvin Ridley,
As
by
an
the way.
active player, which is which is funny because it's like, you know, they're in bed with all the big.
No, it's
What I'm anxious to see is when I get cut from the Titans and I go somewhere else, are they going to give me a hard time signing a contract, being associated with Barstool Sports?
Because that's what it came down to. We had everything figured out, and then they also wanted to see Bussin stuff too. And it's like, well, why are we having to jump through all these fucking hoops just to do this stuff? Like, this should have been done weeks ago. By that point, it was like 4 weeks. There's like maybe 3 weeks left in the season.
You don't know. I mean, you don't know what that.
That might be a stray bullet from you with all the Goodell stuff.
Yeah, but then you look like Drew Brees. Did you see the shit that happened with him? Like you could no longer bet on Purdue because then he's like coaching at Purdue, right?
Yeah. That's,
so they're
I did
just
not know
super
that.
sensitive about, I guess, any potential. But you would, I assume, if we're owned by Penn gambling company and you're getting a paycheck, I don't know.
the biggest thing I feel like that stood out to them that they wanted me to do was delete all the content off of YouTube. So I am active. I was out there throughout the season.
But look,
Doing
there's,
picks and everything else.
fucking signs right behind his head.
At the bus?
Yeah,
No affiliation.
yeah, I don't know.
But it was, that was it was cool too. You kind of get like more into the weeds of fucking.
Figuring out what it's all about.
How can you even sit at a table with him? He's such a worm.
So you got to bleep that, Blossy.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good. 'Cause
Worm.
we started talking about all that. He's really
He's
he
a
grinds. He grinds.
He's a grinder.
He's
He's a
a
grinder.
worm.
He's solid.
Yeah.
He's solid.
Very strong in his Jewish faith too.
yeah.
extremely
you guys
strong.
Have that in, you guys have that in common.
Fucking-
Speaking
he's
of-
the reason people don't like Jews.
On Rogan, you were talking about Kanye.
I hate Kanye.
You hate him.
Hate him.
Is there a way that?
I hated,
What do you think happens to Kanye?
I hated Kanye. He just got married. Did
he really?
yeah,
To
he
who?
did. To a girl who looks
Kim
like
K,
him.
number
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, the owner of, or one of the creative people at Yeezy, I think. He looks very similar to Kim
Yeah,
Kardashian.
yeah.
Dude,
I hated
this
him.
fast got remarried. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, he's crazy. I hated him before he declared he was pro Hitler. That kind of sealed the deal for me.
I know.
Like, you
The whole funny thing about that with you on Joe was Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And even Alex Jones is like, hey, what
Alex
do you
Jones is throwing
mean?
a lifeline. He's like,
Yeah.
no, you don't mean to say nice things about Hitler. He's like, no, yeah, I do. He's guy's like great. It's like, all right.
What did he?
I'm out on that guy.
Was he saying that Hitler was smart, or he was saying that Hitler was
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
not as bad as we think he was?
No, I think he's like, he had some good ideas. Like the people who want to sneak in like anti-Semitism without like openly being like, I hate Jews. Like he invented like highways. Like, all right, great. Like, for every highway, he killed a fucking million Jews. Like, you want a fucking medal? Like, we don't want to hear that he fucking was good with like the light bulb. Like, the guy.
No, they always say that about the Germans too. Like they're scientists.
Yeah.
Were the reason for all these different inventions as well.
Yeah, and listen, like, if you're going out of your way to praise Hitler, I got a feeling where you're coming from.
No. I'm not. Listen,
No,
I'm not coming from
I know,
anyway.
right.
Other than I'm trying to
Taylor's pro
understand.
Kanye. You didn't know that?
Yeah.
You like Kanye?
No. No.
And the thing is,
That was from left field.
it is crazy because people still will try to twist and defend him. I hated him long before. I thought he was just a guy who got a free pass for being a total douchebag. I really hated him. I like Taylor Swift. But and people laugh, but what he and Kim Kardashian did to Taylor Swift was unreal. Like
Yeah.
well,
He's massive.
there was that whole controversy. He had that lyric like, "Oh fuck, Taylor Swift" or something. This is after he went up and stole the award, which is an all-time asshole move. Who does
Yes,
that?
I'll let you finish in a second, but
Yeah,
Beyonce had the
it's-
best whatever.
Yeah, it's fucking her moment. Sit the fuck down. Everyone
Yeah.
gave him a free pass on that.
She threw a couple shots too after, didn't she?
I would hope
like
so.
years,
Well, yeah,
years
she
down the
continually
road.
throws
Yeah,
shots, but
With her
so
success.
the
I think her new album has something about that in it. I might be speaking out of
this
turn.
lyric, the Taylor Swift didn't know about Kanye's made that bitch famous lyric, all that after time. And I think something about sleeping her. Kanye and Kim claim, because Taylor was like, no, I didn't approve that. And Kanye and Kim are like, yeah, you did. We asked you. We called you. And they had a phone conversation and they fucking edited it and released it. And anyone who listened to it would be like, oh, she did approve it. And Taylor Swift was like, no, I didn't. That they're editing it. It's like, all right, they edited the conversation. Years later, the full conversation came out. They fucking edited it.
That's wild.
And everyone gave him a free pass. It's like, think about someone doing that to you. Like on that, Kanye's got these crazy fans editing a conversation. So he's a fucking cock. I hate him between them. But it made it a lot easier as a Jewish guy. When you hate Jews, I tend to be like, well, I don't like you either.
I can understand why you'd be upset about that.
Right, yeah.
That's an understandable thing.
And I mean, who knows what happens to him? Obviously, he's got issues. But yeah, no, I
Do you hate Kim as well?
I don't like Kim
You're
either.
not a Kim fan.
Yeah, not a Kim fan either.
I don't understand really that whole process. How she got so famous.
Yeah, I mean.
No, but it was also if you go back farther, she was like on Paris Hilton's hip when Paris
Well, yeah,
Hilton
that
was
family
doing all
a
that.
Very, like, there's even early Kris Jenner videos, like clearly her mother, who's a genius, and even the sex tape, which was the answer. How'd she get famous? A lot of people put out sex tapes without rising to the level of fame. So they're smart, brilliant business people.
Yeah,
Anyone who
they-
denies that is a hater.
How'd you figure out how to put out your sex tape?
I did not put out my sex tape.
Are you sure? I thought I saw that was posted by Dave Portnoy.
Dave Portnoy, creative genius.
No.
Releases.
No, my dad asked that months after the fact. He's like, did you do that? I was like, are you crazy? I would never put out my
I
sex
thought I thought the way you handled that was incredible.
I don't give a fuck. I do feel bad for the girls. Like, the girls are not, I don't want.
Yeah, but there had to be a level of like your fucking chest, like that gut feeling where you're like, oh fuck, when that came out.
Yes, but again, it's not necessarily as weird as it's not me. It's like my parents, girlfriend, whatever. I remember I was actually dating a girl at the time. I've had like basically since Renee, 2 girlfriends. I was dating one of them, and she thought like a girl texted me at midnight. And I put the phone down and she's like, who was that? I was like, don't worry about it. You don't want to see it. She's like, who was that? I'm like, it wasn't a girl. It wasn't. She's like, well, let me see. It was the sex tape. I was like, all right, here you go.
Did she watch that video and did she look at it and go, I thought like, I only did that with you.
No. But she did not say that, but it didn't go well.
Didn't go
Oh,
well.
dude, I
it
can't
was-
imagine.
Yeah.
But like really, that
she
girl,
knew.
she doesn't, as long as it wasn't while you were dating her, there's nothing to really stand on. Because everybody, to an
Yes.
extent, has had sex now.
Correct.
So they
Yeah,
can't,
it's
she can't
funny,
really
though.
be that mad.
It's funny. You'd think that it somehow doesn't translate.
No, I understand how it doesn't translate.
Yeah.
But logically,
Yeah.
just look
Think
at
of
it.
think of a sex tape surfaced with your wife right now. You know what I mean?
With Talon in the sex tape,
Yeah.
that would be a tough L for me to take.
I know.
It's
like,
that would be a hard fucking L.
Logic would say,
And I gotta
hey,
be
it's
like, I wouldn't leave her unless it was like dated to like 2018, like
Right,
right
right.
in the middle of our marriage. She'd be like, hey, we're
Yeah,
fucking
right,
done.
right.
But if it was like, I don't know, 2013, I'd be like, listen, dude,
Yeah.
If it was some,
it-
if it
it
was some
wouldn't-
kinky shit, I'd be like, I'm a little disappointed.
It
I
wouldn't
wish
go
we could've
well.
done stuff like that.
It wouldn't go well in that
Yeah.
moment.
No, nobody wants it. Nobody. No. Yeah.
It's a perfect. You said it perfect though. It's like not like you could handle that, but your family seeing it, close
Yeah,
friends,
and for-
girlfriends
and
seeing
for-
it.
yeah,
And
girlfriends.
for whatever you're
Yeah.
saying,
The girl you're
they're
dating now, like I'm sure at one point you guys had to have a conversation about that video.
yeah, that's not a conversation that will go well.
Yeah, no, I understand.
No. I could say a sex tape is coming out from 10 years ago. And it did be broken bottles. It wouldn't go well. And it is different. Like,
You talking about now, Savannah?
yeah, it's still.
I had a hilarious interaction with her in Arizona.
I think she told me. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'll just tell it because when we were the night,
Taylor Lawan was gay.
yeah, she thought I was gay, and you guys were laying in bed. She's like, "Yo, is that big guy? Is he gay?" And you're like, "No, I think he's married with 2 kids."
Yeah.
Because that night before the game,
Joey Camasa.
yeah, and we were all joking. Like everyone's like, "Hey, you gonna leave your door open for Joey?" And I'm like, "Absolutely. I hope he sends me his
You weren't
room."
joking?
Dude, I mean, I guess I wasn't joking. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So she goes up, but Roan's wife during that conversation was like, "Hey, are you?" I like felt uncomfortable. Asked me, she's like, "Are you gay?" I was like, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm married with 2 kids.
That was circulating.
That's so.
through-
Just the
through
thought
the
of you
women.
guys like brushing your teeth and like laying into bed and going. She's going. Hey, that Taylor guy, is he gay? You gotta sit there and be like, no,
Yeah.
or
Defend
yeah.
him. What'd you say?
I said exactly that. I'm like, he's married with like kids. He's like an NFL player. Not that you can't be gay in the NFL, but it's like no, here he is. Like I think I showed the Arrow video. I was like, yeah. Look, that's him. He's not gay. Not that I care, but she's like, no, I'm pretty sure he's gay. It was like we were going back and forth. Like, no, he's gay. I'm like, no, I don't think he is.
So I saw her like they had that little roped off area, and I sit down next to her, and she like kind of looks at me and I go, "Hey, how are you?" She goes, "Good." She goes, "Hey, I had a conversation last night." And basically goes through the whole thing. And I was dying laughing at it, dude.
How does she handle all the Business Insider stuff?
Not good. Not good. Not good. Not
Well,
good.
what like if she
Ever dated a Colombian?
No.
kind of.
Not good.
It's a very fiery culture.
Rationale or like it's not true. What do you does not good? It does not go good.
Probably like an Italian.
Yeah, it's just not good.
No,
I
dude,
don't
Colombians
know-
go way harder than Italians.
Harder?
Way harder.
Don't know how else to describe it except not good. Like
Yeah.
not good. Not good.
Okay, he goes, not good.
Yeah, not
Not good.
And it's like, and then you're fighting like 18 different battles. It's like, you know, you got your Western Front, your Eastern Front, like people coming at you who really hate you. She's coming at you. You don't even know what you're defending against over here. It's just like there's no answers. There's a lot of, it's just, you're just shooting everything. It's not good. That's the worst part of it. It'd be a lot easier single some of the controversies because I do have thick skin. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, whatever. Sex tape, fine. Yeah, I fuck. I was single. But when you're in a dedicated relationship, things get complicated, especially with a Colombian.
A little dicey.
Yeah.
Dicey.
Yeah, like you think I'm a problem. That's who I like. Julie Black, I'm going to drop Silvana at your doorstep. Like, good luck. Like,
Good luck. Yeah, how did people get that video? Did the girl send
which
it?
one?
Oh, are there more than one?
Are you talking about the sex tape?
The sex tape. How does somebody get a hold of
the
it?
Business Insider was
I
the,
think there's 3 sex tapes.
Really?
you got 3 of them out
I
there?
was slinging it back in the day, but
Slinging and spitting.
yeah. Come on, it's a
I'm
kid's
just saying,
show.
let's call, you know.
Yeah, no, it's okay to spit.
Fucking kid show.
It's okay to spit.
kid's show.
That's one of those things that like you don't. I mean, you might think about it, but I wouldn't think about it. But if someone's like spit on me, I'd be like,
It's in the moment.
all right, yeah, no,
what
no,
the
no, no.
fuck?
Listen,
Thank God, that's the example. Like one of the videos, if that girl came out and was like, I didn't want this, I'd be fucked. Thankfully, one of the girls, she's like, this is like what I wanted. Like
It's a casual Tuesday.
she literally after it was over, DM, she's like, you know what? At least going public, like more guys who are into this will be like reaching out to me. Like she was into it, but whatever.
but whatever.
How did they get out? I don't know.
You still don't know?
Did you have the video or did
We
she
both
have the
did.
video?
We both did.
Yeah, I feel like being Dave Portnoy, you can't let them have that video.
A lot of them are old, and a lot of them like go back to the first one's like in my wildest dreams would anyone give a fuck about watching me fuck? No.
Yeah, it's got to be a nice feeling, kind of.
Well, I don't know that they do it as like, oh my God, I'm gonna fuck him. It's more like, you know, a circus, I think. The first one, the day it came out, I mean, I can
Bullets were flying.
everywhere I went. Didn't matter. It could be an old lady. It could be like a little kid. It's like, saw your sex tape. Saw your sex tape. It's like, oh, thanks. Nice. Have a good day. How's the coffee? You know, like, what you say? It's like, all right. Thank you. Yeah.
Was it tough watching it being, not horny?
Like,
When you're in the moment, you're going with it, right?
Yeah.
And when you're watching the,
No,
like
a
the
little
watch it
clarity.
later.
You're
like,
the
fuck,
worst case
man.
scenario would be like if he just beat off and then the video came out, I'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
Again, the first one was the second one is embarrassing. Certainly, I don't know. It is what it is. Everyone fucks. So I never promised to be an angel.
True. I mean, maybe when you were a little kid.
Yeah,
Going to temple.
right. I mean, whatever.
You handled this well too. I mean, you're in a room full of guys. We're all peppering you about your sex tape.
This is a good locker room.
Handling
This is
it
a good
well.
locker room vibe right
It is
here.
a good locker room vibe.
Most
You
people
got? Do
don't
you have
care.
anything out there that could possibly be?
You never know.
Actually, I know you have some stuff out there.
People
really?
Sauna conversations.
Sauna conversations that we've had?
Yeah, like literally
Yeah,
a couple like a week ago.
every guy sort of has to. I actually don't. The one thing I don't get is why me personally, maybe because people don't like me, like every guy has to have shit out there. Most.
Yeah.
Like, because you weren't thinking that early phones, like, mine got released like years after. So I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's a couple I got out there that I've literally told my wife about. Like, hey, this
So I
video's
told-
out there.
yeah.
If anything ever comes out, like, you know.
So I told the girl that I mentioned prior that when I'm like, she's like, what is it? She knew. Because believe it or not, there's a celebrity sex tape guy. Like, he did Kardashian, he did Paris and the Hilton, Paris, One Night in Paris.
The resume.
Mine gets sent to him, and he's a fan. So
Yeah.
he's like, hey, they're shopping this, so it's out there. It's like, fuck.
Oh, so you knew.
But
he was
there's no relation to when it drops.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the internet, because you can't sell it. And that's how you know I'm not in on it, because you'll never see it released properly, because I don't give it's like, no, I don't want that out there.
Yeah.
I'd never give the rights to it to be out there, which is how you know, like, Kim and Paris signed off on it, because you can't monetize it unless the people involved give it the rights. But with Twitter, people put it up and sucks. It does suck. I don't care, but a girl to have it be out, God knows how it gets out. I don't know. There's a million like I'm not beyond if a girl had sent me like a video of her, like me sending, I don't fucking know. It's so long ago, and it's like on a Snapchat. It's like you think it's gone. It's not.
Yeah, photos, everything. I would be surprised if people that didn't have photos and stuff out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You-
I just
you get in
hope
the
whatever
moment with
comes out
whoever
about
you're
me is a
talking
good
with.
angle.
That's
You
what
know?
you hope for.
I know one video that I know is out there is not great. Like, it is not a good look for me.
But
when it comes out,
it's like Antonio Brown. He's like releasing shit on Snapchat.
Well, he's doing it himself because
he's crazy.
Right.
too.
yeah, but you saw him in, where was he at when he had pulled his dick out of the pool?
That was wild.
Yeah, he pulled that. It looked like one of those slinkies, dude. He just kept pulling that thing.
Well, he
just
was
kept fucking
posting
going.
really stuff on Snapchat with one of his baby mamas.
The baby mama talks. She's like, "This is awful. Like this, Mike. I don't want this out
condone
there."
this. Like,
Right.
I just can't control him.
Again, the people who released mine were doing it not, hey, look at Dave, we like him. They were done to get me, like to we're gonna fuck with them. And those people are scumbags, because the damage is definitely more risky for the female who is not approving, like me. Outside maybe Silvana killing me, then maybe you get your way, but like it's not gonna affect.
Savannah's a dangerous broad.
Yeah, with that, you're not gonna get me. Like I'm already out there. It's only hurting the girl. So I don't know why people do that, and hopefully never have to deal with it again.
Good luck out there.
Thanks, buddy.
I hope it comes out smooth. What else do we have, boys?
Talk about Barstool Nashville.
Yeah, we can talk about Michigan when you get back.
Are we able to discuss the Barstool Bar?
Yeah, are we able to discuss the Barstool Bar coming out in Nashville? When's that thing opening up?
I'm not sure.
You really don't know? Man, I thought it was going to be this past fall.
Let me ask. I'll ask him.
Dave said it was going to come out.
Dan.
Or Dan, sorry. Said it was going to come out during the SEC championship.
This year?
Yeah.
So like,
He said that on
like March or something.
Was
Yeah,
kind
the
of
case
drunk.
I think that'll be sick, dude. Yeah, and you guys are in a good spot too.
Great spot, right?
Yeah, you guys are in a
Yeah.
really good spot, right next to the pedestrian bridge.
Yeah, old Joe's Crab Shack.
Yeah.
I'll find out.
You hitting up Gaz?
Well,
Gaz?
no, it was the guy who's opening it, Rick.
Like Gaz? Maybe Gaz is. Do I give Gaz too much credit?
For what?
being so high on the totem pole.
No, he's high, but he's like he's not putting in.
He was our scout.
Yeah, he found you.
Yeah, he was our scout.
Yeah, and he is.
Was he standing on the table for us during the negotiation?
He didn't have to. I would.
I appreciate that. Can you say that into the mic? Yeah.
Well, you knew that. You guys got a big deal.
Just wanted to hear, for the masses watching right now. We do. I kind of remember the hypothetical we were talking about because we were arguing over a hypothetical.
Correct.
It wasn't real.
Right. I don't remember what the hypothetical was.
Because I thought we had something figured out, and then I felt like the goalpost got moved last minute.
Like extra months?
It was over the production money. Yeah, you guys threw in the extra month thing that last conversation when we were all like, okay, yeah, I think we got a deal. And then you or Erica was like,
That was me.
that thing will start up in February when your contract. That's what it was. That was a hypothetical. We were on the phone. I was like, Dave, why would we sign a contract if it's not going to start until February? We're taking ourselves off the market. And you're like, I still think there would be big benefit, buddying up with
the
us.
contract is already signed.
No, not yet. No, it wasn't.
No, we weren't starting the contract till after because football for gambling and for you guys is the biggest season. So we weren't going to let you cut.
You said I want 3 football seasons.
Correct. Because if we went to the end, you would still have another 2 football. We didn't want to lose the football season by doing you early.
Right. But the contract on the phone, email structured it differently. When Erica wrote up the email to clarify it all, that's when it made more sense. And then when we got on the phone to talk about it, we talked over that hypothetical because it was like the contract will start when this deal is up. And it's like, why would we sign a contract right now when we're 6 months out?
Or another way to look at it is it was like a 2-year, 3-month or whatever contract. Because we started paying you the new money, I think, right away.
Right away. But that was the
that
issue.
got negotiated.
Yeah, that was like,
Yeah, right.
that was the part where on the phone, it's like, well, we won't start the deal until your contract ends. It's like, well, why would we sign something that locks us up right now if we're not even going to see the new money until February?
Right. That wasn't the hypothetical.
That was.
No, it wasn't.
Because you were talking about how beneficial it would still be even if you guys didn't sell.
That was the hypothetical.
Because we were talking about how talking about how we would still stand up, bet the bus with or without the help.
That was the hypothetical. Because we had already agreed what we're doing. But it was like,
because I go, why would we would have been dumb to sign and not see new money until February? And you're like, not necessarily.
correct.
And you're like, I still think there's benefit. Like you guys would
Correct.
still be getting boosted, blah, 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 blah.
Correct. That was the hypothetical. Because we are already doing it the way we described. It was if we weren't doing it that way.
Yeah, so then we just started arguing.
For like an hour. Because I'm like, there's benefit to doing it because you're going to be promoting on Barstool, you'll be bigger. So it's like, yes, it benefits you. And you're like, well, why would we do this if we don't have... But we had already decided we were doing it one way.
Yeah.
So it was if we weren't doing it that way.
My argument was, why would we sign now and not see any of the new money until our deal is up February when we could be standing up the show and like we were talking about
thing was like, well, you'll be it. And this is not just with you. Any negotiation, I think Barstool brings to the talent help as well. Like you get promoted across our network. So if you're promoting Bet the Boss and it's being promoted on Barstool, that helps you guys as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's the biggest selling point to sign with Barstool.
Right.
That's what you guys say. Hey, we'll put gasoline on your fire.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were arguing. He's like, well, why would we do that? But we weren't. We had already agreed. You guys were basically we extended the initial thing, which
it was a done deal. We just went extra.
The original argument or discussion point, which I brought in, is because we want to sign you. We want to sign you before football season because we didn't want to promote a ton of gambling and then have you go, hey,
Shop it.
DraftKings, FanDuel, look, we're gambling. And we got you guys for one gambling season that we can't monetize because it's brand new, basically. And then you just use it to build up your price big time. So it's like, let's get the deal done before that. Then we can promote it happily and go through. But we don't want to, if you sign a 2-year deal or I forget 3-year deal, we don't want to lose the football season. Like we are still under contract for this football season that just happened. So if we're signing you for 2 years, we still want those 2 future football seasons. We don't want to lose one because we cut the contract short.
Mhm.
That is what, like we're saying. Now we agree. We're like, we'll just, essentially rip the contract up, start over. Instead of saying a 2-year contract, it's a 2-year plus football. So 2.4-year contract. That's essentially what we did. And then it was just a hypothetical. If we weren't doing the 2.4, if we're just doing the 2, like, should you guys even do like football? And I'm like, yeah, because we're going to promote it. You're like, well, we're not getting paid for it yet. That was kind of what it was.
But also, because we were going into the negotiation, you're wanting to get something done before football season started.
Correct.
That's what made me think the 2-year deal would start when we got the new contract signed. And then the last conversation was, all right, this will start after the
Correct.
after
And we
your
were going back.
contract
It
started.
had nothing to do with money.
And then it was like, why would we sign something? And then it was like, okay, it's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be
when you
2.5.
said
It's gonna be
move-
prorated.
You said move the goalposts. Correct.
Yeah.
And that's when. So you thought we were doing it for a different reason. We were doing it to make sure we got 3 football seasons with you. You thought we were trying to save money for like 4 months, basically.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
So it's like, no, we'll
Like, no, honor the rest of your deal, but we want to sign
Right,
you.
because-
Like, we're gonna get you for the future.
Right. Because for us, ripping, when we say we'll start the contract instantly and we're doing 2 years, to us, that means you hit the market right before football year 3 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
When if we didn't rip it up and start early, that you like we wanted whenever the contract ends, we want to be right when football ends. That's and we want to keep it on that schedule.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. And then we were just going back and we agreed on that. Like, yeah,
we were just
so
going,
it was
we were going back and
it was
forth.
the wording because like, yeah, we'll start your new pay rate, but the actual new contract doesn't start till it would have started anyways. And then we just looked at, I think it's all right, whatever. It's a 2.4 month contract.
Then we just started
worked up
arguing
all
about
over
like,
you.
0.4-year contract.
yeah.
2 years, 4 month contract.
Yes.
And I mean, we argued about this for an hour. We couldn't like it would.
I know Will would be sending me updates. I'd be at camp and I get like a
and we're arguing about
like
nothing.
a phone call.
The deal was done, and we'd be winding down. And be like, well, I got one last thing to say about that. And we're just
Well, yeah, I
going
wasn't
back
coming in
and
there
forth.
aggressive like that.
Yeah. We were like going back. It was like done.
Because it was the hypothetical we were talking about. All of that stuff was correct. The hypothetical is if there was that new pay rate started.
Correct.
Dave was like, no, I still think you would benefit even if you locked in for the future. And I'm
Yes.
like, no, we wouldn't.
Correct.
Which we probably would, but also
No, we wouldn't.
would be able to have the football season
Yeah.
to basically put together a, like a resume of what
That-
something could look
yeah.
like to somebody
Yeah,
else.
right.
And that's what you weren't wanting to pay us on in the
Yeah,
first place.
that was it. It's like if you didn't get the pay raise, would there be benefit for those form? Yeah, and we were going back and forth, and we both at times be like, just so we both understand, we've already reached the deal. It's
Then we would
done.
laugh, and then we'd be like, but also.
Yeah,
Stoked that got done.
yeah, me too.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it is. It's been awesome.
Jim Harbaugh announced what this week?
Coming back.
For those who are listening now, this is what week of the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
How do you feel about Harbaugh coming back? Now,
Great.
just okay,
Great.
that's awesome. But last time you sat in that chair, you asked me, "Do you think Harbaugh should be fired?" And I
Because
said
you
yes.
also tweeted Harbaugh should be gone.
Yeah, because we were both in agreement that
You
he
gotta
needs to
lead-
go.
Yeah, you got to lead from the front, Will. Now,
You got to lead from the front.
you got to lead from the front. As Michigan men, you can't accept what was happening there. Some people, and I remember getting in a fight with the school. It was after we lost, like, I don't know, 60-20 or something, and I was at the game, and people are like, they tried hard. We had a good season. We only lost to Ohio State. I'm like, no. This isn't Nebraska. This isn't some second-rate school. This is Michigan, where you beat Ohio State. We are excellence. Don't accept this. Oh, we stayed. Maybe it was the game on the bad spot on 4th down. I don't remember. It's like being close at Michigan. That's what Michigan
So
is.
we
now.
want.
You guys
we want
essentially,
natties.
though,
We want
like,
natties.
Yes.
You want natties, but you lay down every opportunity you get to win.
Well,
a natty.
Hey,
too.
buddy, you don't need. Listen, you don't need to be talking about getting to natties. Like you guys haven't sniffed natty since the new century
We
started.
both sniffed the natty the last time at the same time. We've split.
We have had the. We were 2 games away.
Oh wow.
We were one series away from being.
Two
Yeah.
games away, 10 games away. Everybody's upset if you don't win the
We
natty.
played bad against TCU and we barely lost. We played bad. We lost that
We
game
don't
more
have to
than.
defend ourselves to you. You
Trust me, I know about playing bad and ended up
This guy's
still
the
barely
fastest
losing.
guy. For a guy who's Big Ten, he's the fastest to start attacking Big Ten members.
Yeah,
It's
he will.
crazy.
takes the Portnoy approach where he's like, I don't
all
want
I
to.
wanted to see is I said when it happened, if they embarrassed, and it was fucking embarrassing
It
again.
wasn't
one of the
embarrassing.
great
It was
games in
a
the history of
phenomenal
college
game.
And then they go and TCU gets dog walked in the natty.
But what does
How
that
bad
mean?
does
We're
that
a
look?
better team.
But-
We're a better team than TCU. We just
no, you're
lost.
not.
Wait, wait,
buddy.
time out.
We had 2 pick sixes and a fumble
Lost
exchange.
the game.
But what the people like you, this a circular thing. All right, TCU beat us, fine. Well, Ohio State should have beaten Iowa. I mean, Georgia. They were a missed field goal. We dog walked Ohio State. So what does that mean? Each game is its individual entity.
It's like rock paper scissors.
Trust me,
There's
guys,
always one to beat another.
I understand the losing metric. I get those games. I do. I've done it for years now with Nebraska.
Not this last year.
I get the thinking. I get the spin zone you bring up every now and then.
No, there's no comparison between Nebraska and
Oh, brother.
Michigan right now arguably is positioned as well as any college football team in America.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Blake Corum
loaded
came
this
back.
year.
Their whole line came back.
Yeah, they came back this past year, and you guys couldn't fucking win you guys couldn't make the push for the national title.
We did make a push for the national title. We were in the national title.
Yes, you guys
allowed in the
you always
playoffs.
do in the college football playoff. You lay down, you bend the knee.
We did not lay down.
Yeah, 2 times in a row. It's
You
a bad
gotta remember
look.
where this program was 4 years ago. We were you.
Exactly. We're in our hero's journey right now. We're fucking.
No,
we
you're
gotta,
not.
We
You
gotta
haven't
go.
even started.
We gotta go through the bullshit to get back to the top and taste the sweet nectar.
Buddy.
We're in the system.
Let me tell you this, Will. If you said, "Hey, you're gonna make it to the national title semifinal, you're gonna be in the final 4 the next 2 years," you would give a kidney. You would give a kidney.
No, I wouldn't,
Yes,
brother.
you
I'm
would.
all
You
about
would.
fucking natties.
No,
natties.
but
for
we're
real.
working
We
there.
have no leg to stand on to be all about natties. You should be all about a,
We have 5
a
of
500
them.
season.
We have 5 natties. I do have a leg to
No,
stand
but we're building. We are building to where we
on.
gotta be.
You guys are topped out.
How
you
we
guys-
topped out?
You guys went to the playoff twice, and you don't even have a top 10
Buddy, we had
recruiting
all
class.
of our best players come back, and we had the best transfer portal class this year.
No, you didn't. Look
Wait a
that
minute,
up.
We were number
out.
one.
number
Not-
one.
We either had number one or the most amount of
here we go.
transfers.
There it is.
Tapped
We
out.
were number one
Tapped
or.
out. We the first year we made the playoff, we lost by what 30. Last year we were 1 kick away. We're still moving up.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You didn't make it
didn't make it where
to the
title game.
finals, to
Yeah,
the
but
title game when you
we
should
could have
have
been. Listen, I'm
You're
not.
woulda, shoulda, coulda
No,
guy.
no,
I'm not a
there's-
disrespect TCU guy.
There's no reasoning and reasoning with there's no
There is
reason
reasoning.
and reasoning with an unreasonable man.
No, he is
in the clouds
Nebraska
right now.
envy. That's what it is. It's like since Nebraska thinks he's going to try to pull the entire conference down.
No, I try to
Yes.
push the conference forward.
No,
and that's
I don't
on
think-
record.
I-
That's
I-
on record.
no, I
That's
don't-
on
I don't
record.
think
But
you
the
believe
minute
it with your
adversity
heart.
struck, you folded. You folded like a lawn
it
chair.
It doesn't.
The pick six throw, he's like, you guys are a joke. I'm embarrassed.
No,
Yeah.
that's not true.
He's-
Fucking
yeah.
pull up your phone. I just said what's going on right now.
Yeah,
do
very
something.
early.
I told you to do something
Yeah, that's
because
very
you
early.
like to lead from the front.
I was leading
So
from
I'm
the
like, hey,
front.
do something because you're in the front.
I was yelling.
Yeah.
Defense.
Hey, I didn't see you during the game
No,
at
I
all.
know. I told you where I was sitting.
You're on the 50-yard line. And literally,
Yeah.
we would
Yeah.
walk past Michigan sideline every single time we passed. I'd be like, looking. I'm like, hey, we got to interview Portnoy during this
You
thing.
know what's crazy? I saw my freshman year roommate. at the
Oh,
game.
really?
I hadn't fucking talked to him since my freshman year.
What's he doing?
I don't know.
But you just saw him.
I was the
You guys shared a dorm.
The Fiesta Bowl, yeah. The Fiesta Bowl guy like brought me down to the 50-yard line. They were super nice. It's like I can't wear any of the merch. Gave me like my own jersey, all this shit. But when I did that, he was like in the crowd. He's like, Dave. I looked. It's like fucking Billy. Yeah.
Shout out
Crazy.
Billy,
I wonder what
man.
No, but
Billy- I wonder
I'm
what
happy.
Billy's up to right
Listen,
now.
Harbaugh's come back. Their team's. I think the quarterback, though he didn't play great, I think he's going to have a very big year. I think they are poised, loaded. When does the playoff switch to 16?
2024.
So this next season,
No. So
No,
we get one more year of
one
the
more
four,
year.
for the four.
which Michigan will be in again.
I agree. I think they go
Yeah.
undefeated again
Georgia has a down year.
Undefeated. You guys got a big game on
in
week
the Big
4.
Ten. You guys,
Big game week 4, the Bussin Bowl.
The Bussin Bowl.
are you NILing?
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
Explain.
Your checkbook.
The recruits?
Yeah.
No.
Mm.
I don't need to do that.
Why? You do need to do
You
that.
do that? Is that what you're insinuating?
I asked you if you did it.
Right. I'm not doing it. And you said why. So I'm
Well,
I'm
you're
assuming-
an alum.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Nebraska, you stink. You need players. Money
We're getting
talks.
players,
No,
brother.
you're not.
We had a good
Who you
good
got?
transfer portal year, and we also had, I believe,
Is that what everyone does?
I believe a top 20. I believe a top. I'll say top 30 recruiting
So,
class.
it's top
Which
30.
which is
very
great.
nice.
And we hired Matt
Very nice.
Rule.
Our recruiting class wasn't that great.
Very nice. Top 30. I don't care about it. That's where Michigan.
Oh, you
Hey,
don't
the
care.
winning's now. Like we have the team to win now.
We didn't have a good recruiting class?
I think we were maybe top 15.
for a top.
Oh,
but we
yeah,
we need to be like top
Like
10.
top
We were better than Nebraska. Yes,
Yeah.
we're better
Well,
than
I know
Nebraska.
compared to him.
believe
Imagine
you
being a
guys-
Nebraska guy. Were you top 30? Oh,
I know.
Will.
Hey,
But
fired
brother,
up about
it's
it
been
too.
a decade of losing.
Yeah, you're terrible.
You gotta figure out where the meter is. You gotta move it. This isn't the 90s anymore.
What is going to make somebody go to Nebraska?
Matt Rule.
Yeah, Matt Rule.
Matt Rule, the guy,
Guys like me.
yeah, Matt.
You know what I mean? That have this platform, busting with the
you
boys.
guys
to get
are
on the
you guys
bus.
are squeezing your butt cheeks together. Matt Rule, I've heard be like, "Don't come if you want money. We're not the place to go." Let me tell you something. That's not what recruits want to hear.
It depends on what kind of recruit it is.
Yeah, the ones who can play.
Those ones who can play will jump.
We were
ship
number
immediately.
17, one behind South Carolina. JP.
You know as well as anybody. It's about culture.
What is this? The overall recruit?
45. That's a good recruiting class for the decade we've had. That's good.
That's,
Which sucks. Yeah, that's
Hey, we got their
unfortunately the standard.
best up and coming linebacker transferred to Michigan.
No,
Nebraska.
that's not true at all. And guess what? We just got a transfer from Georgia, a linebacker.
Who probably would have never played.
never.
Maybe at Georgia, but guess what? Another man's treasure is another man's treasure.
Pull up the transfer portal.
Oh, listen,
Free agency.
I have actually a ton of respect for the history of Nebraska, which pains me to hear you say, "Look at us, we're top 30."
No.
That's a good point.
We're just talking
No,
about
I
no.
mean, yeah.
That's you're fucking shifting the narrative. All I said is we had a top 30.
You're saying
top
we're
30
trash.
recruiting
Hey, the
class.
number 2 guy, number 2 in the transfer portal, got him.
You're saying we're trash because we've lost in the semifinal game, and you're
Back-to-back Big Ten
and
champions.
you got your pom poms out for a top 30 recruiting class.
I don't got my pom poms
Yeah,
out. No, I
do.
fucking don't.
If we rewind the tape, you have your pom poms out.
No, I'm just saying that was a good recruiting year for the decade long of losing that we've had.
Well, I mean, Michigan was really down before they turned around these last 2 years.
Right.
Like before Michigan beat Ohio 2 years ago, I honestly would have said, I'll bet everything on Ohio. Like, I didn't think we had a shot to beat
I know you were
them.
calling for Harbaugh's head.
Yeah, because I lead from the front.
He needed time.
We both did, and we both can say now, hey, we were wrong.
Correct.
And he is the next Bo Schembechler.
Right. So
Yeah.
people can do that. Like, I don't like the people who turn around like, I never said that. I wanted him gone. He was there 5-6 years, and we're 0-6 for
So what you're
and we
saying-
weren't just losing, we were getting fucking smoked.
So what you're saying is you're allowed to change your mind.
I am somebody who has the intelligence to be like, if you provide me the facts and the information, I can admit I was wrong. Clearly, the right move was made.
Right. So
I was wrong. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
You're talking about how I changed my mind in certain situations, but you're basically admitting that it's okay to change your mind.
Of course.
Yeah.
Or admit you're wrong. Yes.
He's talking about jumping ship on the Big Ten.
No, I know what he's saying. What are you saying?
He's coming at me for jumping ship on the Big Ten. I'm not saying I jumped ship on the Big Ten.
You jumped ship on the Big Ten. You did do that.
There was a part of you who liked the fact that we lost.
No.
Yes.
No. I wanted Michigan to win.
No.
I wanted Ohio State to beat Georgia.
We know.
I wanted them to beat
I
Georgia.
wanted you guys to play Georgia because you guys needed to right that wrong.
Man, wouldn't
I
that
do
be
think-
special? We would have won that game
Yeah,
too.
see, I don't. Right. The people.
Just like me, we're all woulda, shoulda, coulda guys.
No, we're not in the same boat. Well,
Yeah, brother.
we're saying the same narrative, but we're in a
Right.
yacht.
This is
you're in a rowboat right now trying to get
this
to the
is
yacht.
like
That's
what
okay.
we're
Like
doing.
I said, we're
Well,
at
yeah,
that
but
part
this
of
is
our
like
hero's
the
journey.
Patriots.
We're gonna come back. We got our guy in the
The
seat
Patriots
right
lost
now.
to
Matt
the
Rule,
Giants,
Coach
the
Rule.
18-1 season. It's like, oh, we could have gone undefeated, and you're sitting there on like a 2-win fucking Saints team. You're like, well, that week 2 game we could have, would have, should have. I mean, they're very different. We're in rarefied air. We're playing for national.
But we're not
titles.
far off. We're not far
Oxygen
off.
is
not far
scarce
off.
around here.
Nebraska's not far off from Michigan.
No, buddy, we won by 31 points last game. Last time
Yeah,
we
that was
played.
last game. What about 2 years ago?
That was 2 years ago.
3 points.
You're only as good as your last
We should have
game.
won that game.
Which one? The 31?
No, 2 years ago when we were the best 3-win team in college football history.
That is
This
not
has to
arguable.
be-
That is fact.
Yeah, this has to
Here's
be
the best
exhausting.
3-win team.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
Is this exhausting for you?
No,
Because every year you have to defend arguably the worst
No.
team in college football.
because I know what's going to be conceived
No, you
in all
don't.
this. Yeah, I do. I just
Hey.
don't know the timing on it. But I know this. I got Nebraska's back every fucking year.
Yeah, you have
And
their
I'll
back.
take the heat.
That's why
Lead
it's
from the
exhausting.
front.
hey,
That's
what was
why
it?
it's
What was the
exhausting.
stat you were telling me about? Nebraska's the only team not to make a Power 5 team to not make a bowl game in how many years?
They made a bowl game last year, Bussin Bowl.
I mean, a bowl game. Let's say that's sponsored by like a Capital One or
Season, yeah.
yeah, Pinstripe.
Yeah, it hasn't been for a while, but we don't care to go bowling. We want to fucking chase national titles, so we can't do that. I don't give a fuck if we go to a Cheez-It Bowl.
Listen.
We're trying to develop. We're trying to develop in the wintertime.
5-6 years
We're
ago,
not trying to waste
if
time.
Dave and I sat there and said we're chasing national championships, we would have got laughed out of the fucking building. At that point, we were like, hey, let's work on a Big Ten championship. We have conquered the Big Ten championship. We are the kings of the Big Ten. Now we're looking for national titles. You got to set those goals. You can put that up in your meeting room and be like, oh yeah, national title, boys. Everybody's got a shot right now. But right now, how about just win was it the East or the West? He was in the West. Just win the West.
I'll also say
don't
this,
you
and
fucking
people
worry about
have
yourself.
disagreed with me on this. Michigan, yeah, the more success you have, obviously you want to win the whole thing. Michigan's new round of success, we're not there yet. I'm very happy with that season. It sucked the way it ended, but always Michigan going undefeated in the Big Ten and beating Ohio State in a game like that is always going to be a successful season at Michigan. It is. That game, that matters that much. They're both undefeated. You stomp on them. People are going to be happy with this season. They are. You guys don't really have a rival like that, but it changes.
Don't say Iowa.
It's not, right?
I know
the
we
same.
don't. I
So
know we don't.
it's
We were
like-
talking about Michigan, Ohio State.
Like Auburn, Alabama, if they're both undefeated and they're playing the Iron Bowl, whoever wins that game, the rest is definitely gravy. I don't care how many Alabama titles they have. You beat Auburn, you're both undefeated in that game. That's a good season for that team. Things will change with the 16-team playoff too. But there's so few teams to get to the Final Four. That's a fucking big accomplishment.
Yeah, you should be proud of that. But again, it's like we need Michigan to win to help represent the Big Ten.
So instead of jumping ship right away,
That
you
actually
should
doesn't
keep
matter
pushing
I'm
the
not
ship in
wanting
the right
to jump
direction.
ship. All I
That
said
doesn't
was
matter
Jump
anymore.
ship.
all I said from the beginning was I need accountability for. It's on you guys if we can't fucking put a good product to get the national title.
You were in my grill mix in the second quarter.
No, I
Second
said
quarter, he
I
was already
said-
chirping me. It's
I
like,
said do something.
fucking love
wasn't
do
chirping you.
something. What is that?
So you're saying you never take shots at me. It'll be mid game on Nebraska, and you'll be like, hey, what's going on? My lights are out.
My lights were out.
You know what I'm saying?
You lose power. Miami is Storm City.
All I'm saying is
the
you do
wind
the
comes
same
in there.
shit. And I will quote
I
money.
do your shit though in a lowly, meaningless game, not the playoff game. The stakes are high in my world. They're low in your world.
No, that's not true. Let me
I'm
quote.
making
Let me
fun
quote.
of you
Let me
losing to
quote.
like Division II teams.
Who we lost in the Division II world?
Northwestern.
They're D1, brother.
You haven't lost any D2 teams.
And that again, and you've said it. That was
I
on
thought they
foreign
lost to
soil.
D2.
I know,
team.
but I'm not fighting that battle right now, Will.
D2 team? What do you think we are? It's Nebraska. And let me quote Moneyball.
And by the way,
Oh,
Hang on. Let me quote Moneyball. If you don't win your last game, it doesn't even matter. We won our last game.
I just gave you a direct quote / story to
Did
contradict
Michigan win
that.
their last game?
Will, I mean, I
just
feel like you're about to
literally
put some heat
just
down there.
literally told you if you go 10-0 and beat Ohio State, you had a great season. So yes, it matters.
He's lost to Georgia Southern.
Hey, look them up. I think they're D1.
He has lost to Georgia
Recently.
Southern.
We
The
lost to,
second
we
game.
lost to a Georgia college football team.
They
Will.
are,
You know what I'm
they
saying?
are,
Look at that.
We didn't get
34 to
beat,
3.
and we didn't get beat
they
by
are,
like 30.
they are D1, but recently I think they went up.
But that's a Georgia college football team. We didn't lose to them by like 30 like somebody did.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think when your head coach is saying, don't come here if you're interested in money, that's not good.
Listen, don't worry about what kind of pockets we got. We got deep fucking pockets.
I don't think you do.
I know we do.
No, listen, this is where I do have to agree with Will. Nebraska they've got money there.
Why?
What do you mean?
They,
why?
dude, they
Why do we
have
have
their
to-
alumni
how?
rolls
You mean?
deep.
I thought farming was like down and shit.
Have you donated to Michigan?
No, they asked me a lot.
Do they ask you a lot?
You're not
Here,
cashing checks
my
for
my
recruits.
biggest thing is why do they not use you as a vessel? I think it's ridiculous. And I actually asked somebody on Michigan.
I don't know. if
Ask
it's-
them.
We
I
didn't
don't
get to
know.
bring the bus. We didn't get to bring the bus to Michigan because they don't want association with Dave Portnoy. That's what I heard.
I've sat next to Ward Emanuel, literally at the Big Ten basketball championship. Sat next to him. He invited me as a guest, probably because I ain't cutting the checks.
Would you cut a check?
I don't know.
Are you cutting checks for
I
recruits?
think it's worth. Listen, it's worth it.
I said they'd
It's
have to
worth
wear
it.
my name on their jersey, though. Like that's my guy.
Put your like Twitter name.
Yeah,
Presidente.
yeah. I don't know. It's tough. Here's the thing. Here's my conflict. Michigan has a shitload of money. It's like why should they need the alum who have paid a shit ton to go there? Like to me, as a normal pedestrian student, when I signed to go to Michigan and decided part of the deal is like I went there because they got good sports. I'm a sports guy. I like doing it. The school is fucking charges $1 trillion to go there. Where's all the fucking money? Like, so they can make more? That's my inherent issue. Why does it fall back on alumni when they should do it?
So why don't you go to Michigan and say, I'll donate money, but I want to know exactly where it goes, and you have to show me.
Like
Right.
the football team you're talking.
Yeah. Like that's obviously where we, like if you and I were to donate, that's where we would put our money.
Yeah, I'd want to be. I said that I'd want to be in a round table, like studying film. Be like, go get that guy. I don't know that I just want them spending my money with them. I maybe call a play or two.
Yeah.
I'm sure you call it play like against Nebraska next year.
Well, yeah, like a real play, like a real game,
And a real-
like
like-
that matters.
Like the first play of the game against Ohio State.
yeah.
Now would it have to be you have the open full
Yeah.
playbook, or
No,
they give you
I don't
3
know.
or 4
I go
plays?
back on. There's a company that what's the fucking name of it's a clothing company who does a lot that reaches out a decent amount. But they did, and they do it the same with Dan at Wisconsin. Have you been asked?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they pay attention clearly to who is starting to get money and who can help. And NIL is going to be important. But I haven't figured out why Michigan doesn't have unlimited money to begin with to give to these kids.
They
I
do it
don't know.
through like
And
collectives.
Michigan owns like 85% of Ann Arbor.
Right.
They do it through collectives. All the boosters, they put together those collectives, and that's
Why do you even
that's-
need
that's-
boosters?
Well, that's the collective is the middleman that ends up paying all the NIL money.
Maybe because it's a state school. Yeah, that Michigan was the first school to start that.
Or what?
They did like a GoFundMe, the one more year fund, which supposedly is what helped keep, but it was only like $100,000 in there, right?
Blake Corum.
Zach Zinter and Trevor
Yeah, but
Keegan.
that's not a ton of money. Like
Yeah, and
$100,000.
Blake Corum's going to get like 80% of that.
I mean, it is to a college kid.
Is it to like a top recruit? Like I'm seeing guys, I feel like guys are getting like I heard that CJ Stroud was offered like $5 million to stay.
Fuck.
He didn't, but
I wouldn't either. If you're CJ Stroud, you're going to be a top 10 pick.
Right. That's just a lot of money.
But Ohio State really just doesn't produce quarterbacks like that. Who's buddy from Chicago? Justin Fields. He's good. No, he's their best hope right now.
he's a good running
But
back.
all
He's
the
a running back.
that's I hope Lamar Jackson doesn't hear you say that. He's a fan of the pod. Because
Well, Lamar's a running back though.
I don't know. I can't.
I mean, he's a quarterback who can run the ball really well.
I would go on that. He's Mike Vick. They're both Mike Vick.
Like he's got weapons as legs, dude. But he's still a quarterback. He's still the whip the ball.
I would rather play a quarterback who I wanted to run before throw, and I
Wait,
would
wait,
rather
As a defensive player,
yes.
you'd rather
anybody. My
play-
favorite team.
you'd rather play like a Lamar Jackson than Peyton or
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I mean Flacco when in
his
his
prime.
prime. Yeah, maybe. Yes.
Yeah, Rodgers? Rodgers can run a little bit.
But he,
Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah,
Tom Brady
clearly.
5 years ago.
Yeah, I'd rather play Lamar. Like I think you can game plan and
Guess who? What seat are you sitting in? Coach,
defense coordinator.
defensive coordinator.
Like I think if you can make, and I think that's what's happened to Lamar in the playoffs. I
Yeah.
think if you can make him pull the ball down and run, you can beat him. And that's not just a Lamar thing. I think that, like, you know who I think is a great example because he can fucking run is Josh Allen. He can fucking run. But I do,
Run motherfuckers over.
yeah. But I think he's
jump over them
yeah.
or run through them.
I always think he's pass first. I think Lamar is run first, and I think that's very hard to win a Super Bowl that way.
As a coordinator, I can see where you're coming from there, like from just playing against like Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning or some of these cats. But like as a defensive player out there, you'd rather play a fucking pocket passer.
Yeah, and so what?
As a linebacker,
as-
maybe not as a DB.
As
I don't
somebody
fucking
who's
know.
watching like the games and like a fan, I feel like Lamar's going to put up huge numbers against the lesser half of the league.
Like the
So-
Patriots.
well, that's a cheap shot. But as the competition goes in the playoffs and you start playing the elite teams in the league, that tends to stop working.
Yeah, coaching really plays a huge factor.
Yeah. And even like who Baltimore just beat? Lose to?
Bengals.
The Bengals.
Like teams like Baltimore consistently, even though they lost that game, they get physical and they muck it up. And defenses against like running quarterbacks, I feel like they make it really. I mean, has Lamar won? What's he won? One playoff game?
I don't think has he won? I don't.
Yeah, they beat us. They beat us.
Oh,
in
that's
the
right, in
first round.
2020.
Yeah. Lamar,
Yeah.
Yes. And he's been like MVP during the regular season.
Yeah, but you can definitely make the argument that they win that game against the Bengals if they had Lamar, a healthy Lamar.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, that last play.
I mean, they put up.
By the way,
points.
I like Lamar. Like,
when Lamar was out, they didn't score over 17 points the rest of the year.
But they weren't doing great with him either this year. I don't know. I just the running has any true running quarterback. Like, I'm talking when I say running, I mean run first.
I think Lamar's the only one like that.
Run around, but yeah, you're right.
Lamar's probably the only one that, if you were to make an argument, he's run first. It would be him.
Vic was that way.
Yeah, Vic was that way.
But he's not playing. I'm saying guys right now.
Who is there? Anybody else like that right now?
Kyler Murray,
definitely.
Kaepernick did come close. Yeah.
Kyler. He was. I don't know what he was this year.
Jalen Hurts throws first. He's got a squad around him.
But he runs the rock too. Like his, on the app and stuff, it's like over under 70, 80 yards.
Like I just am never. I don't know. I'm not worried about Lamar beating me with.
I'm more worried about how we get your relationship better with Michigan so that we can get some
I didn't know it was bad.
I don't think it's as bad as Will said. I thought
I saw the email. It was like from one of the associate ADs saying we don't, we can't have this on campus because we don't affiliate with Barstool.
Was it Barstool or Dave?
I think it was Barstool.
But we the first time you said Dave, and I thought it was Barstool.
Okay, yeah, I believe it's.
But
Barstool.
we toured their locker room like 2 years ago. Like they.
Yeah, but you know how the school is.
You know how it is when you're in with the individuals versus like the overall. Let's protect the brand, or like this stuff could be a bad
interesting.
Look.
So it's the football program or is Michigan?
Michigan, I bet.
Well, yeah, that could be true. Michigan's kind of like a pussy school in a lot of respects.
Well,
that may not help, but like it's.
I'm Nebraska.
Like
no, I'm saying like what I understand what Dave is saying.
Like Michigan with the COVID shit was the worst.
That's a good try. No, I don't agree. I
think that's a pussy school.
No, I don't think Michigan's a pussy school. I think
pussies up there is what Dave's saying. What do you think?
I didn't go to the school for education. I was a general studies major.
Listen, Michigan. Michigan's an interesting state in general, but like, the Michigan was like the leaders of like not playing football during like COVID and shit. I think Nebraska wanted to play
anywhere, anytime, brother.
Yeah, like Michigan was the one like no. Yeah. Like so, and that wasn't coming. I don't think that wasn't from Harbaugh. That was from like the president of the school. I think. So they're a kind of liberally wacky school at times. They are.
Oh, I'm not touching it.
Don't you love how I go this and I'm like,
dude.
They are. They definitely are.
I can understand why you would say that.
But I didn't know I had a bad role
in the football team. Like, how do we get Barstool, like the Barstool College football show? How do we get you guys in the heart of Ann Arbor?
Yeah, basically.
On the campus.
Right? We were literally, you could throw a baseball off the stadium.
Are we bringing that thing?
Okay, because I was under the wrong impression. I thought you guys weren't allowed. That's why we weren't allowed to bring the bus.
Yeah, we couldn't bring the bus. It worked out better because
I think
we were barely off your ACL. Like
I think Michigan is the closest we are to a stadium. Like it literally is across the street.
Like in the tailgate area.
It's like the main entrance. I forget what street, but it couldn't be closer.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You guys need to do that show there next year.
I don't know what we're doing for live shows because of the gambling shit.
That's right. You like to go to spots where gambling is active.
No,
right?
they're coming out now with new laws that says you can't be on a college campus. It's crazy.
If there's gambling involved?
Because we're owned by Penn.
Oh, that fucking
Is that going to be across the board with like
college game day? It has to be 21 plus, which is like, how do you do that at like an outdoor pregame show?
Will that affect college game day?
Maybe. This article's been written about it.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And by like our guy, JJ McCarthy, he was like the first one to reach out to be like a Barstool athlete.
JJ is a fan. That fucking sucks. Especially if it does that to college game day.
Well, I'd be more concerned about us, frankly.
Well, yeah, no.
I mean, I'm glad you're so concerned about one of our chief rivals, but I am very concerned about us.
I remember being in college, like playing Notre Dame, and then it was the first night game, and like college game day was on campus, like right in the diag. And I
that's
thought,
what
oh,
they do
that's
with the
fucking,
tag.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I thought that was like a really cool thing. So that's where my head went on that. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm worried about Barstool
Okay, that's
as well.
appreciate it.
I don't view you two as competitors.
No, you were on their show during the Michigan game.
During the
What
Michigan
was
game and
that
college
like,
game day.
seeing one of your-
Yeah,
seeing one
actually,
of-
I
seeing
did
one
I
of
was
say,
those
at the game.
I said that to you like that night that your girl thought I was gay, and you're like, "Oh, it's great," and you kind of just walked away, like you didn't.
Well, what was I gonna say? You are kind of your own entity. It in a way, it can be good for us.
It absolutely is good for you guys. If I go on a college game day show and they're like, "What does Taylor
Who
Lewan
did you do
do?"
it with?
College game day.
Oh, I was talking about the
You
thing.
talking about the mega cast.
Yes.
You know who I was doing
Wait.
it with.
No, I don't.
McAfee.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it was literally Pat McAfee's mega cast
Oh no, I
on
didn't know
ESPN
that.
too.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that.
So, but I'm saying if I go on there and I do a good
I gotta
show,
take a piss.
people are going to be like, "Oh, what else does this guy do? Oh, he does a podcast called Bussin the Boys. So who's the Bussin the Boys affiliated with? They're affiliated with Barstool." And so
Yeah.
that helps more eyes. I go, and now I go. You guys watch the
We
show.
weren't
You guys
doing
enjoy it.
anything
I go to
competitive.
headquarters.
Like what if we were doing? Let's say we're doing a live stream at that Michigan game. Then it's competitive.
Yeah, I guess it would be. But then
We
you guys,
weren't.
then you guys just asked me to do the live stream with you guys, and I would.
Right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a good thing to be on if you can be on those like CBS's, ESPNs.
Weirdly, I don't view like you bring up the McAfee. I don't view him nearly like I don't view the ESPN side of it. Like the only part I see competitive with him is more like the FanDuel
Yeah,
than which he can't promote on ESPN. I don't think, anyways,
because they're DraftKings.
because they're DraftKings.
Yeah.
Right, which to be honest,
Which
I don't
is
even know how
wild.
he gets away with that.
Right, that's kind of the same exact conversation we're talking about right now.
Yeah, that's crazy to me that
I wonder how I finessed that. He does a great job.
Yeah.
His show does great. And then you had a thing that came out when he signed that FanDuel deal. It's like they could have got all of Barstool for that at one point when he
Basically,
was there. Yeah.
$100 million what they didn't offer, and at that point, yeah, McAfee was still there. McAfee wanted to do a radio show with me before he did.
He wanted to do a radio show with you.
But after he left Barstool, we talked about him coming back to Barstool, and we were talking about contracts and all this, and he wanted to do a radio show with me, and then he called me. He's like, "You're not going to match it. I don't blame you. FanDuel is paying me like a stupid amount of money."
Is that the first FanDuel deal or this past one?
First.
Yeah. So, man. So why didn't well, you were with Penn, so you couldn't go just do it anyway.
No, yeah, we were already locked up.
Yeah.
And at that point, that he was one of the first big ones. Like Penn would never have paid what they pay. They still wouldn't pay. Like, I mean, it's a never ending cycle because they're renting Pat. And
Yeah.
like they rent who's the other guy, the guy from Miami that Lebitard. Like they rent Lebitard. Like I think he got 30 mil or something for his show.
Do you ever look at deals like that and think about it from your situation? Like in a way of you could have licensed and kind of just
No,
re-upped
I mean,
every
yeah,
few years
sure,
with that?
sure. I look
The
at
big
it a
company?
little bit, but we set the market. We've been good for everybody, and it's like, you know, I am sort of an honor your contract type guy, and we're the first quarterback or first pitcher. We just set the market. Like I had no regrets when we did it. Like I was like, holy shit, that's a ton of money. So it's hard to look back and then be like, I want different. And
just because you get caught comparing.
yeah, and we'll have our time, or I'll have my time if I wanted to in like 2 years. Not necessarily gambling, but other stuff. Be like, you know, it is what it is. I get it, but I can't complain with.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this episode to bring you another ad read by Black Tux. I would love to read this, but we have a special person on this bus who has a special situation with one of their buddies who is going to use Black Tux. Black Tux, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Black Tux.
The Black Tux. That's JV Hovey. Please listen and enjoy.
Yeah, a company has never come in more clutch. Our boy is getting married in Miami. He's getting married to Valentina. She's Colombian. Miami makes the most sense. Black Tux comes in. They're making the tuxes simple. And literally before we found out about Black Tux coming on and sponsoring, our friend sent us a link to here. Then Black Tux comes sponsors. They hooked it up fat. Easiest tuxedo rental that we've ever had. And so, with that being said, the Black Tux makes it super easy to get on trend, top quality, guaranteed to fit tux without ever leaving your house. Here's how it works. Take the Black Tux Fit Quiz, pick the style you want to rock, and boom, your tux is delivered to your door 10 days before the day you need it. That's plenty of time to try it on and make sure it wears you well. And if you'd prefer an in-store experience, the Black Tux has showrooms across the country. Their expert fit specialist will help you find the perfect style tux or suit and make sure it fits just right. Rent or buy the Black Tux is the best place to go when you need a tuxedo for a wedding or special night. And right now, when you go to theblacktux.com/bussin, use code BUSSIN and you'll save 10%. That's THEBLACKTUX.com/bussin, code BUSSIN to save 10%. Theblacktux.com/bussin, code BUSSIN. Back to the episode.
Here you go, boy. When you're saying you'll have your time, you mean 2 years from now, your contract with Penn.
Yeah, I
is
could
up.
never go
Be a
to
free agent.
No, I will. I would
But
never.
I'm saying
You have a non-compete clause.
You're technically. Oh, really?
I would
thought
never-
you'd technically be a free agent.
Not in
No,
the
he can't.
gambling
If,
space.
yes, but could
I think what I sold is like I'm never. I don't even. To be honest, I don't even know if I do, but I would never do that ever. I don't care how much. If DraftKings like will give you $500 million for like a year, I still wouldn't do it.
well, hold on. Why not?
Fucks over like so many people have equity in Penn, and I'll be like, do this, and I'm gonna go directly compete against it. I just wouldn't feel
Very
comfortable.
very honorable statement.
There's plenty of other verticals I can go make money, but to just turn around and basically, and even Jay, who bought Barstool, he put his neck out there. Nobody knew how that was going to work. Like, there weren't a ton of people. And it's just a big fuck you. I just wouldn't do that.
Not a big throw the first punch guy. You're a throw the second punch guy.
Yeah, big time. Like,
Yeah.
if Penn disassociate with me, like, we cut him loose because he's a fucking scumbag. Different story.
Now
but-
you're going to FanDuel, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, right.
That's happening.
Yeah, but no, I plan on being with Penn and Barstool in some capacity doing gambling because I'm a natural gambler like forever.
And when you say some capacity, let's just say the rest of that capacity, what could you see yourself doing? Like going in with a different vertical somewhere else that doesn't associate
just
with
like
Barstool?
not being as in the day to day with contracts and like, you know,
Like truly an employee type of situation.
just I'm on my own world doing my own like content.
Yeah. Because if the outside looking in, it seems like that's what you're doing, not knowing
Yeah,
us
no.
all having conversations.
Yeah, well,
You're
but
living
you
in
guys know
Miami,
that,
you're all over the
right.
place.
But you probably know that because I was heavily involved in like you guys.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of employees, and I'm heavily involved in a lot of those discussions.
Yeah. So if our contract's up in 2 years, our contract's up the same time yours is. I believe it's like the exact whatever. You will probably not be involved in our contract.
Yeah, maybe
negotiation.
somewhat. Like we have certain people, and I don't know if you may have been that. Like there are content people who very much are like, as long as you're here, I'm comfortable because I know how you think and like what you go to bat for and things like that. So I don't, and Penn's great and everybody, but they're like, I just know things aren't going to change drastically as long as you're like here and involved. So that capacity, I may be like, I think Caleb in his contract has like, if Dave leaves, my contract voids type thing.
Yeah.
So there even may be someone else at some point have like, if there's a dispute, like Dave gets to settle it. Like I'm fine with that type shit just because most people know how I'm going to land on like shit before I even land. So it's like, if they think they're right and they're like, Dave will know I'm right, then they feel comfortable. So maybe something like that. The day to day traveling and stuff like that.
Not
Probably
for you.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
back out.
No, there is definitely a thought of like when the contract negotiation was going down, Will and I would talk and I'd be like, well, how long is Dave's? Does that exceed
Right.
Dave's? Not because we don't like Barstool or anything. It's like we know what you put on paper on a consistent basis. Like
Right.
this dude's been doing it for this long. He has the vision of what's going. Like you and Dan are probably two people we would lean on
Right.
in sort of in those types of
Yeah,
situations.
and I think it's natural. And again, I trust and love Penn and Eric in that conversation. I think people are just like, well, if you remove then, who is Penn? Like it's just a company. Like you don't know exactly. It's like, so what changes, what goes down. So I think there's just that layer there. But again, I have a shit ton of Penn stock.
yeah.
So I mean, I want that stock to do well, and some people say no, but I don't want to do anything that would hurt that because there's a lot of money involved there.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna need some of that stock soon.
yeah, well, you gotta get out of the NFL probably.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Should
Yeah.
we do tier talk?
Yeah, would love to do tier talk.
Let's do tier. How long have we been going?
No, is this like? Did you guys pre-do this? Like we're gonna beat Rogan's time?
2:30.
No, we just
No.
go. We've low key been leaking into the 2 hour
Yeah.
Yeah,
for a minute now.
for a while. I think the last one we just did, Rule. He was in 2 hours,
He was
wasn't he?
Wow. We had
It kind
Coach
of just
Rule
been
on.
going that way. I feel like these conversations just go well, and it kind of just ends when it ends. Was that a nerve wracking thing for you? Thinking like
I don't
Joe's
want to go
time?
short.
Yeah, if you go
Yeah.
short, there is a vibe of like, fuck, man. Was he not enjoying it?
Asked when they say it's like that's 3
I knew
hours.
you asked it on the show, but I was
Yeah.
also like,
No,
that
I
would
was-
be my thought
I
too.
was his studio is fucking trippy. It's super dark. He's got like the ceiling with like it looks like stars and shooting stars like going
Yeah.
by.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it,
Like a Rolls Royce,
what's that?
like the roofs of Rolls Royce. They have like,
Oh,
Stars.
Yeah, yes, that's what it looks like.
yeah,
So it just it went quick and I didn't know what to expect. A cigar, I was drinking a little whiskey. I don't drink whiskey anymore. Not anymore. I just don't drink whiskey. But I thought it went quick. His guy's good. I've never noticed that. The way he pulls stuff up on the board. Yeah, I really didn't know what to expect. And it's funny because his producer
Jamie.
knew a ton about Barstool. He'd done all the research and he came before Joe. He's like, he may talk all Barstool or he may talk no Barstool. I really don't know. He just goes. So
yeah, he is really one of one.
yeah.
The way he does stuff. Do you guys grab dinner before, or you just showed up?
Yeah, just showed
So
up.
you guys met on the mic.
Pretty much.
Wow.
He gave me a tour of his studio and then we went. Yeah.
How big is it?
Huge.
Huge.
Yes.
Bigger
huge.
than this warehouse?
Way bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Where
was
we are in a warehouse though. Where we moved up a little bit
yeah.
because he was in the shed the last time
Yeah.
we were.
Yeah. No AC there either though.
Yeah,
Listen,
that
this
one
is-
was off generators
this
at the
is-
shed.
Way nicer than our first office. Like way nicer.
This is our third office
Yeah.
technically.
Our first office was the gravel parking lot.
Yeah. We used to steal power from the RV company right next door.
Yeah,
Smart move.
Yeah.
Yeah. we just bought it
Overhead.
with them. And if they didn't have them all plugged in, we'd plug one in for the
Yeah.
generator.
Bossy was there with us.
Yeah.
Back left.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would get mad.
Train would come by. We were literally like the railroad was like right there. And train would come by. We'd have to either pause or we'd just talk through it.
Yeah. I'd be like, hey, there's a train. This is adversity.
Yeah.
I like that.
Tier talk. So tier talk is basically our fans, we put them in a tier system.
Mhm.
So tier talk is the category is going to be pizza food chains. So your classics, your Pizza Hut, your Domino's, your blah, blah, blah. And then we start at the bottom, work your way up, leave a little anticipation for that tier one. We'll start with you.
I think Dave's aware. Are you aware of Tier Talk?
Yeah.
I would love for Dave to go first.
All right.
So just bottom. I'm not really aware of Tear Talk. So go bottom.
Yeah, you could definitely call the bluff there.
Yeah, top three. 3, 2, 1. You can
Are
throw in an
you-
honorable mention if you'd like as well.
Wait, but you're saying 3 is the worst.
3 is
Three's not
your
the worst,
third
it's
place.
your
It's all
top- it's your
podium.
top
It's all
three.
podium.
Okay, so these are all on the.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're at the Olympics, bronze, silver, gold. Now we can take 5 minutes here. We don't.
Yeah.
This doesn't have to be a rush
Yeah.
deal.
And I can go first because I do feel like I have mine.
Are you
Yeah.
you like to play? Are you like a gambler from a card standpoint? You like playing cards?
I'm not as big as I am in sports, but I certainly know cards.
Yeah. I've never gambled in sports ever. I know
That
that
makes sense, sort of.
no, a lot of guys in the NFL they gamble on baseball and basketball. I've never
You
really.
can still gamble in other sports.
Yeah, you can even gamble in college football.
Surprised you can do that.
Yeah, you can do all that. You just can't gamble on the NFL if you play in the NFL or whatever sports you're
But
in.
what's interesting is you can. I feel like it's if you're an individual. Say I'm you and I'm gambling on the March Madness.
Yeah.
You probably can't promote whatever. your
No,
picks
definitely
are.
can't promote it. But you
But here
can
are
and
my
not
picks.
get in trouble.
You can like do it like on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My tier talk will be all levels of nostalgia for me growing up. Oh, Sabaros is one?
Oh, you guys have to pick from?
No, this is like a
It's in the draft.
guidelines.
We can have the same list. We can share a list. All that stuff.
Yeah, because if that's the case, you want to go first.
The Nashville bar, May.
May? Oh, nice. That'll be awesome.
Is that an official announcement?
Official announcement.
I mean, it's as official. Always a moving target with openings, but it is scheduled for May-ish. Yeah, that can be as
Barstool
a
Bar
yeah.
coming in May.
Barstool Bar coming to May. Do you guys have employees for that? Like, have you guys
I mean,
already?
there will be people working in there. Yeah.
No, yeah, thank you. I'm saying, like, have you guys figured
I
out
don't know.
employees and all that yet?
We have a company that basically runs them for us,
Okay,
and they
gotcha.
do all of that.
Yeah.
So
I met a girl that actually lives in Nashville. She's the GM for the Arizona location. We were on our
no
way
shit.
to the Arizona Bowl. She was nice. She was like, "You guys should
going
come
to the
by."
Super Bowl? You are, right?
Yeah, we'll absolutely
Yeah, we'll
there.
be out there. We'll be out there that full week doing all the stuff. I think they had like mini golf.
Mini golf. My mom's in that tournament.
Really?
Yeah, my mom's coming for the Super Bowl week. Should be interesting. Yeah, mini golf. The Waste Management's out there that week. Which is a great golf
it'll
Yeah,
tournament.
be-
that's
be a
so.
good
Hey,
week.
that is the closest thing to Happy Gilmore
Yeah,
in the entire
time.
PGA. It's
It's a
amazing,
good time.
and it's grown so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason why I asked about the employee thing is there's a bunch of people that when I first got here, it was all about going to bars and meeting people, right?
Yeah.
21, 22. So I've had a bunch of guys reach out to me being like, "Hey,
I
what's
can
the
connect
deal?"
you.
Yeah,
I mean, connect you to the guy who's doing the hiring if you want to pass along. Like,
yeah,
whatever.
that would be awesome because there's a couple ballers out there.
Would you like me to go?
You ready?
I'm ready to
I'm
go.
trying to get an overall list.
I know. Just type, pizza chains.
Yeah, no, I understand, but it's like
My honorable mention, my tier talk for the pizzas for my top pizza chain nationally. It's got to be national, right? We can't go by because there's one in my state in Missouri I would love to pick, but
Is it like off the wall? Is
What's
it just
the
in
name of it?
Missouri?
you know what name it is. You gave it a bad review.
emos.
Yep.
Oh, it's horrible.
No, it's a good
That
pizza.
is incredibly impressive that he pulled that out of his ass right
Yeah,
there.
because he's probably like, what is it? What is it?
I think that counts. That
Does
should-
it?
That to me,
Yeah,
that would
that's
count.
that's a state. I feel like it's around just like
There's enough of those. I don't know if there's a minimum. I feel like there's enough of those that it would count. I would count that as a chain. It's like St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah, but
I feel like what hurts you.
Midwest
I feel like
chain.
what hurts you in that review is you're going and literally everyone is hyping it up so much.
well, they weren't hyping it. No, they weren't. They're saying it was trash, and I wouldn't like it. It's very unique. It's an acquired taste. That's the one with like the sauce in the middle. It tastes like
It's good stuff.
like you have like the Velveeta spray cheese in the middle.
No, don't disrespect it like that. Velveeta spray cheese. Come on. Come on.
I mean,
I know you're putting a knife. You're trying to like get
no,
it
I'm
going
not.
right now.
I didn't know that.
It's
That
not
was
Velveeta
that
spray
bad.
cheese. Not
I
Velveeta
think
spray
you
cheese.
can put that because I had one that I was
It's like a
gonna put.
provolone mix, I believe. I could have just been pulling that out of my ass too, but it's tasty.
Yeah, mine are all nationwide.
And you get the toasted raviolis.
Yeah, I did like the toasted raviolis.
Yeah, that shit was fire. But so do we get to count that?
Sure, go ahead.
We get to count that. I'm actually going to throw that in my honorable mention because it's not a national chain. Emo's Pizza, it's a shout out to the Midwest, dude. Shout out to Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri pizza, St. Louis style. Emo's Pizza, the toasted raviolis, the thin crust pizza, bacon and pepperoni. That shit is fire. My tier three is going to be a big nostalgia pick for your boy. $5 hot and ready. We would get it multiple times a week after school. In the
Little
school year,
CC's?
yeah, no. As a lifeguard, it would be our lunch break. $5 hot and ready's from pizza or from Little Caesars.
That's what I just said.
I thought you said CC's.
No, I said Little Caesars.
Oh, that's what threw me off.
Yeah, yeah.
CC's.
Yeah, I get you saying.
Little Caesars Pizza. Fire, bro. I fucking love Little Caesars Pizza. Yes, brother. We'll get you on it one day. My tier 2 is going to
You
be
can have multiple in tiers.
He just did honorable
Did an
mention,
honorable
tier 3,
13,
tier 2.
17,
Got it.
13 honorable
Okay,
mention, you know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Yeah.
That's my that was my tier 3. My tier 2. And I've been going back and forth on this. The reason, you know what, fuck it. My tier 2 is gonna be Domino's Pizza. I feel like I still eat it to this day when I need something quick and it's like, hey, we're having a little pizza night. Like, let's get back to our roots. Let's get back to who we were as people back in the day.
You'll order Domino's like at home with the wife?
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah, I will, brother.
That's absolutely disgusting.
The garlic butter like crust that they do, bro.
Disgusting.
Some more, again, bacon pepperoni. You guys see a theme here. I love Hawaiian as well. I love Supremes. I love all varieties of pizza. But you get back to your roots, you're ordering Domino's. And yes, matter of fact, I want to say probably a month ago we got Domino's.
Disgusting.
They kept up with the
Absolutely
times, the mobile app. They're on
gross.
it. They're on it, bro. They're
No
with the modern time.
disrespect to them, but that should only be eaten when there's no other pizza.
Taylor, can you tell Dave what the rules are in this?
So in tier talk, usually the person speaking about their tier talk has the mic. And
Duly
then
noted. Duly noted.
at the end, everybody in here will give one word on how they feel about
Okay.
the individual's list.
Duly noted. Thank you. I'll
Are we good to
abide.
go? Am I
Yep.
good to
I
continue?
didn't know
I feel
those
like I already
rules.
know how you feel about Will's list, but we will get one word out of
Sorry,
you.
I didn't know the rules.
Okay. My tier 1, a joy to go to with a group of people. And when you're playing, maybe after a baseball game, and it's like all your parents are like, hey, we're going to go here. And that tier 1 is CC's Pizza. When you get to eat that buffet style pizza, you got the mac and cheese, you got the cinnamon rolls, you got all kinds of varieties of pizza. You get some quarters, put your dollars in the quarter machine and go play it's like a little mini Chuck E. Cheese room. You know what I mean? But CC's Pizza, that brings it home for me on my tier talk for national chains on pizza.
All right, now we will go starting with Bloss, and we will give one word.
Thrilled.
Thrilled?
Disappointed.
One word.
One word to describe that
is
list.
Average.
Who's him? Who's that?
That's my guy. Awesome.
Young.
You want it or you want me to go?
You can go.
Almost.
Gross.
That's tough. That's tough. All right.
We'll wait till all these are done.
Nostalgic also, yeah, one word. It's not nostalgic though.
Hyphenated, gross,
Right?
nostalgic.
Yeah, it's not nostalgic. You still get Domino's.
Well, it's just when you want to remind yourself where you came from.
Got it.
All right.
You get emos, I would think.
Well, I can't. They're not out here.
Touche.
But when I do go home, emos and hoa, Chinese food, fire. Those are the hitters. When you visit Banter one day, I'll take you around.
My honorable mention is going to go to Hungry Howie's. You go to Hungry Howie's, you order it, you look at the add-ons you can possibly add. Obviously, everyone's going to look at the cheese, they're going to look at the pepperoni, all the other stuff. But one add-on that I always enjoyed was the garlic crust they would put around the corner. It added just a little bit of oomph on things. Everybody knows who listens to this podcast, knows your boys love garlic. That is a big one for me, but it is just an honorable mention. My tier 3 is a place only when my father and mother got a raise. We would go to this spot and I would get the number one thing, the famous thing on their list, which is also my favorite pizza of all time. The California Pizza Kitchen is my tier 3, and I would get the barbecue chicken pizza. I think that is incredible. My tier 2, this is where I hit almost with Will. But you play a baseball game. For me, we go to the ice stand, we play hockey. After a big game, the boys are all sweaty and smelly, but we want to play. We want to have a good time. You go to CC's Pizza. Was the pizza great? No. But seeing macaroni and cheese as an 8-year-old on a pizza, truly a breathtaking experience. Automatic desserts everywhere. You keep grabbing it. You get the last one. You'd look back. Hey, what'd you say? You come back to the tray. All of a sudden, there's a whole nother row of them. Them bitches were ready early and often. CC's is my tier 2. And my tier 1, because I do love the feeling of nostalgia. You get a $20 bill and you walk into this place. You put it in the fucking dollar machine and it brings out a bunch of tokens for you. And you get to play the games, add those tickets up, and get yourself a prize that's going to break in the next 15 to 20 minutes after you get in. You'll cry about it later, but you're not thinking about that right now. You're just about the here and now, the present. That is Peter Piper Pizza. That place, sitting there, birthday parties. If you had a birthday party at Peter Piper Pizza when I was a kid, you're not missing that for anything, boys. And that's my tier talk.
All right.
Descriptive.
Unfamiliar.
Yeah, confused.
West Coast.
Miss.
Yeah, I've never heard of Peter Piper.
You never heard of Peter Piper?
I never heard of Howie's or whatever you said.
Hungry Howie's?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's gonna be confusing though too, because like you guys are doing this isn't just tears, this is nostalgia tears.
Well, it depends on the tier.
Like I am doing things I would currently eat.
That's okay.
I would eat everything I said.
I would probably do the same thing.
Right. I mean,
Without question.
Little Caesars is unquestionably one of the grossest things going. So for you to put that in any type of top 3 other than like I had a great memory somehow 20 years ago is embarrassing. I know you're only supposed to say one word, but you picked just
In this, we're talking about Taylor's.
Yeah,
tier
you
list,
said
too.
one. You said confusing to me, and then you went off.
no,
I don't know what
Peter
Peter
Will.
Piper is, but the way you described it made it sound like a Chuck E. Cheese.
It's-
What's
You're
your word?
basically the same
What's
thing.
the word you would describe Taylor's list?
I already did. I said confused.
Okay.
And I guess it's like, are we doing nostalgia? Like, yeah, I have good memories of Chuck E. Cheese as a kid. I also did a pizza review there, and I caught COVID 8 times. Like, kids are sneezing on me. Like, it's the most disgusting, wiping boogies
Dude,
on the wall.
I took my kids to Chuck E. Cheese 2 weeks ago, and I had a fucking blast.
Well, you got kids. I was there doing a pizza review.
Yeah, that is
Place
probably
sucks.
worrisome for the parents.
I couldn't get out of there fast. All right, my top 3. I don't think people are gonna know them, but they are chains. So I'm gonna go 3 Papagenos, not to be confused with Papa John's. That's definitely a Northeast brand. 2 Bertucci's, fire, and 3 is Anthony's Coal Fire. That's the tier 1. I went reverse. Tier 3 Papagenos, tier 2 Bertucci's, tier 1 Anthony's Coal Fire.
Okay, before we do our one word, you said you did your tier 3 to tier 2 1, but you did it with these hand gestures. Tier 3 is still your third place, correct?
Yeah, 3 we're going down. It's like, yeah. It's like if you picture a Family Feud board. Like 3,
Would be the most votes.
no, the least.
But if you're going down,
are on the board. Number 1 is the lowest. So I was going, here's 3, here's 2, here's 1. My 1 would be my favorite.
do I not know Family Feud? Because I
No,
feel like
think
they
he's- I
do.
think the 1 is most popular.
Is 1
Most
at the
voted
top or
on.
the
One's
bottom?
at the top.
No,
It
one's
goes
at the top.
1 through
See,
10.
I'm again, hand up, I'm wrong. Fast to do it. I almost dislocated
I'm
my
proud of you.
shoulder.
I'm
And
proud of
that
you.
is something that you guys said at the beginning of the show that I won't do. I was dead ass wrong right there.
Can you apologize?
I'm sorry for
So-
being wrong.
So your tier 3 is,
My tier 1's my favorite.
got you. So you said it all correctly, but
Yeah.
you just thought it wrong.
Maybe. Tier
Well-
3 is my lowest, and that would be Papagenos.
Never heard of these. Any of these?
None of 'em.
chains.
Tier 2, Bertucci's. Tier 1, Anthony's Coal Fire.
Boss?
But if we're using like Peter Piper and you
I
use
tried staying more national.
emo,
Yeah.
well, did you?
Emos. I think I was the only
Emos
one.
was an honorable mention. Tip of the cap.
Peter Piper's all everywhere, I thought.
Not everywhere. I think it's like coastal.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Oh,
I would guess there's more Anthony's Coal Fire than there are Peter Pipers.
probably
I-
now. Peter Piper's kind of gone under like Blockbuster.
Bertucci sort of went under a little bit.
What is, let's get her one word.
Well,
Hyphen, can't relate. Veteran.
Oh,
Dude, get off
Jack's
the.
on his knees.
where are you
Jack's
from?
on his knees.
but you know all those spots?
I know the third
I like this guy.
Yo,
I like that. I like you. You got a future.
He said you got a future.
Home.
You
Unfamiliar.
got him on payroll.
Well, he's a New England guy. 2 of them are New England.
I feel like if I was from the Northeast, I would understand everything you just said.
Anthony's Coal Fire is like Florida and South. How many locations does?
Will,
Yikes.
mine's going to be hyphenated. Try hard.
Well, no, I mean, I take pizza seriously. You got honestly, I wouldn't feed some of your pizza my worst enemy when they were dying, like at all. So it's like,
Well, the tier talk was
my best
national.
friend.
The tier talk was national.
well, you,
chains.
but then you brought up emos,
honorable mention.
right? Well, that's part of the contest, right?
Honorable mention.
But
what would be your top 3?
Peter
chains?
Piper.
What would be your top 3 national chains of pizza?
I think we could leave Peter Piper out of this.
That we get in every state.
Yeah.
National chains. brother.
Uno's.
What's Uno's?
It's like I think that's Chicago.
Well, no, it's Star, but you can get Uno's everywhere.
I don't know. Uno's, what else? Papa John's?
No, I'm not a big Papa John's.
I like when they had like the little banana
Maybe
pepper on it.
California Pizza Kitchen,
Okay.
Pizza Hut.
California Pizza Kitchen has excellent avocado egg rolls.
Yeah, for a pizza
Good
guy, it's
spot.
pretty disappointing.
Did I pick good pizza?
No, that you picked. Honestly, Pizza Hut.
Well, you know what's
I think
wild
pizza
too
Hut's
is
good.
we could have gone and did a pizza review with you at 11. Then that would have just been more fun times, the three of us.
We can still do a pizza review after.
How many pizza reviews do you have in the bank right now? Oh, I was way too high.
I would have thought that too, like 50.
Yeah.
I'm just constantly anywhere I go, I'm stacking up. Like since I've been in Nashville, we've done 4.
You did 3 last time you were here.
I land on the plane and we go instantly. The second wheel's down, we're eating pizza. Did one this morning, and we got like 2 others that I'm trying to see how many locations these guys have.
Uno's?
No, Anthony's Coal Fire. locations.
Where are you guys going after this?
The fuck. Dicey's, yeah, that's
Hey, Dicey's.
So that's like 5 minutes from.
yeah.
Dicey's a good time.
Hey Dave, what were you?
I never
doing
had
in
it.
Camarillo?
Dicey's good.
And where?
In Camarillo.
The fuck's Camaria?
Doing it. Popper's Pizza. This was
Oh,
my
yeah.
It's my
No-
hometown.
yeah, so we were that was in between the Arizona Bowl, wasn't it? Why were we in no, we were in LA. I was shooting a commercial. That's what it was.
Oh,
Yeah, don't worry about that. It was just a little something something. So again, when we were shooting near Malibu, so we just go around and just find any place of pizza. That's a chain, right?
Just on the west. A lot of people were.
So wait, you don't know what Anthony's Coal Fire is?
I've never had it.
Have you ever
Just
wanted to
trying
do
to
anything
Google
like
that?
acting?
What's that?
Have you ever wanted to act or anything?
No, I hate that shit.
Okay.
I'm a very like this is where I like to be, like natural conversations, acting, smiling on demand. No, not my bag.
Not for you.
No,
Commercials though.
my version of them. Like I don't. Yeah, I made my own version of a commercial,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was in like a national commercial. It was High Noon, so we'll see.
Okay. Okay.
What commercial were you in? Are you allowed to say?
No,
All right.
it's high levels.
I got you. Maybe off the bus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
maybe up.
That'd be outstanding. I
think we're
believe.
solid.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
think we're
it, boys.
solid.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Bussin' with the Boys. As always, please subscribe, unsubscribe, or resubscribe. Do all those things for us. Hit the merch store. If you are looking for this right here,
It's gone.
it's gone. You can't have it anymore, boys. It is fucking out of here. Budweiser, see Indeed, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's-
they did.
It's a heartbreaker, absolute heartbreaker. But please keep doing the same things that you've been doing for us. 2023, it's a massive year for the boys. We are grinding for you guys right now. Big hugs, tiny kisses.
Maybe